it is time to turn on the desktop audio because I did not turn on the desktop audio, and also that was a bit loud. Uh, yeah. Wow. Okay. So stuff is messing with my microphone again. I hate it when that happens. My microphone's getting messed with again. I'm going to lower its volume a little bit, not just a little bit. Stop! Windows! Stop messing with my audio! Windows is messing with my audio and it's pissing me off. It's even messing up with my like the game audio as well, which is like Windows. Okay. For a bulletin board, as prompted by the terminal, there is someone there ahead of me. I'm surprised. I'm not surprised to see him. After all, there was no one else who would be here. Good day. Leo turns my way, smiling as usual. His servant Gawain stands 1 step behind him, straight as a sword thrusting into a stone. Unlike Leo, Gawain's eyes are calm. There's no hostility from him. Just as the ironclad loyalty and unwavering confidence in his lord. Gawain's composure would not slip, even in the middle of a battle. That righteous white knight would die without question for his lord. As I'm looking around, I'm struck by a sense of change. This is the last time I'll see the bulletin board like this. I look through and I already know the names. Master Leonardo Bistario Harway, Battlefield 7th Chimeric Lunar Sea. With this announcement, at last we are finally adversaries. Once again, I wish you luck. Leo's trying to speak casually, but something has changed about his voice. Not apprehensive about the fight, he's excited, almost thrilled. It's strange. Honestly, I never imagined you were the one with me at the very end. When I first saw you, you were industrious, adaptive, and rather forgettable individual. Over the brief course of this war, you've grown immeasurably, as I've suited to the soil of battle. Now that you're standing in front of me, fitting opponent, not just in ability, but in countenance. I am enamored by this feeling of competition as a little girl is with a fairy tale. Ching reference. Leo laughs bashfully. You'd think you'd enjoyed basic human emotion before. I do not know which class's fate was meant for, however. Now I feel fight with you is the necessary step process for my ascension to the throne. For showing me the side of the world I yet know, you have my deepest gratitude. Leo isn't being insincere. He's thanking me for this in his own self-centered, condescending way. He believes he'll win. He believes he's righteous. His beliefs in his own victory are greater than I have ever seen. Leo, I understand your feelings, but further reality would be quite unnecessary. It's been an obstacle. The time to exchange words has passed with now worthy opponent. You also require rest. A king must be at his best. Let's put an end to his prostrate. Indeed, thank you, Gawain. I got carried away. I'll take my leave now. I look forward to our next audience with me on the final battlefield. Just going to look that up. Double check. Yeah. Leo's parting smile is gentler than usual. I can't help but leaving his back as he leaves. It feels like I've always been looking at Leo's back. My world is too different from his. His sentiments, he's been foreign as his home country. A boy who has progressed, making victory second nature. A king who will not tolerate any outcome of victory. A person whose entire life has been absolute. I don't believe that he or I are equals, but then again, we are both king of the mountain right now. We came from many places to fight in this holy grail war. I will struggle to find my place. Alright, time for the final showdown, king. Evening. Strangely enough, my heart is calm. I breathe easily, and the memories of a past battle are a comfort rather than a paralyzing factor. I'm not eager to fight, but I'm not distressed either. I'm mostly surprised by my placidity. Archer is in a similar mood. He begins talking to me in his usual cynical tone, like the asshole he is. I didn't really think the day would arrive, but here it is. The time has come, Master. Are you ready? That Leo boy is exceptionally talented. You can't fudge your way through this one. This tournament has been a crucible for you, and you've withstood the temperatures without cracking. However, the crux always had haven't disappeared. You'll need more than luck to hold out. Like taking on a fortress empty-handed. Silly idea, right? But a fun one. I'm making confession. This has been being the end and all. I think our best weapon is creativity, Master. Seeing how far you've come, it's okay to believe in yourself. Hey, and believe in me too. How sentimental. You've always been soft though. Anyway, I'm just stroking my ego. Getting you to say you believe in me is so late in the game. But since you do believe in me, I will sunder the king's saber for you. Besides, I have the advantage. Oh wait, that's fake go. Not this. Because this is our last fight together. At first, we were distressed and full of despair. But now, I'm happy to be called your servant. Let's go, Master. Life is short, so we have to live without regret. And then Archer quietly disappears. Right, this is the last time Archer and I will fight side by side. My servant always tries to hide behind caustic words, but I know what he really meant. He's a tin soldier, broken hero, and a thankless role. You can't help but feel humbled by him. That's why I'll thank him in a way that doesn't rely on slippery meaning of words. I'll give my servant a send-off that'll make him smile. I'll grasp victory so soundly that he will be rendered speechless. I can think of no better gift. Also, quick note, we already have level 1 for Matrix level 1 for him, because we already know Gawain. We already know his name. Also, he's Saber, so he already we know some things about Sabers. They always have anti-magic, and they always have riding. It's called Dragoon in this for some reason, but it's riding. As I head in the hallway, a silhouette appears in the doorway. I wonder how many times I've met Kultamina like this. What does he want this time? He sees me tense up, flashes me a rare smile. I must admit I am surprised that you, of all people, have made it this far. I welcome you to the final confrontation, Master. The Holy Grail is almost in your reach. The Omnipotent Construct grant any wish, and inside, can you feel how close it is? What a surprise to be free of avarice. I suppose I should quietly applaud you. A dismissive smile begins to the lips of the black-clad priest. Now allow me to announce the final trial. The way to the last battlefield has been opened. So who will claim victory and raise the Holy Grail to their lips? I await with bated breath. You're just an asshole. Yeah, it's just Sakura and Arena. Let's double check. I didn't level, did I? No, I did not. Alright, here's the other thing. Did I have chocolate. That's probably one of my problems, the fight with Berserker. Take a lunch. Sakura does an amazing lunch. Fully heals hit points and all statuses. I know that off the top of my head. I walk down the hallway en route to the arena. Is it because the culmination this journey draws near, that each footstep feels inevitable? What's wrong? Did you lose something? You look more distracted than normal. If you're not up to this yet, you can always go back to your room. Jeez, Archer. He has always come off sarcastic, but I know how much he cares deep down. He stood by me through a lot of challenges. I wouldn't be here if not for him. We've shared so many things. That makes even this scenery I've seen 1,000 times special. You must be injured somewhere. Is it asking you too much? Asking too much for you to tell me these things? Do you expect to function properly in this state? This is serious. Oh, now that I think about it, you haven't had a single day off since the tournament started. Rest for a day. It's okay. I don't mind. I don't think you'll be disqualified as a master. I should say something. I feel bad for Archer getting more and more off target. What if I stay silent like this? I bet he'll talk himself into a corner. You're relaxed. I see. I was jumping to conclusions here. Let's hurry to the arena, Master. If you're feeling that well, the battle will only go in our favor. You hope. There's a gleam in Archer's eyes as he disappears, leading the way. This past week has been enjoyable. I've been with Archer, sincerely believe that. But still, the hour of battle draws even closer. The final battle. No matter how the Holy Grail War ends, I'll be parted from him. Actually, first things first, we're gonna go to the commissary because we got new shit. We can actually buy ether crystals. Like 5 of them. And actually some pretty decent stuff, actually, like the Celestic Blade. Oh, I really want to play Fate Extra Record, but it's not out yet. I hope you're ready for bullshit. The Holy Grail is only for the magus strong enough to take it. But what are true strength? What is a fatal weakness? Let there be light enough to illuminate the way. The atmosphere in the arena felt more ominous than normal, and the noise felt as if it would rip me apart. The gun directed at me is almost palatable, makes me want to throw up. The source of all this is definitely not Leo. Archie seems on edge, but they are right. This feeling isn't coming from either Leo or Gawain. In fact, I'm almost sure I've felt this feeling of hatred before. But how is it? Would it really be? You can never be too prepared. Proceed with caution, Master. While walking in the arena, I suddenly burst into distortion that sounds almost like a groan piercing my brain. It would be a voice. Jealous. Not yet. Die. By myself. That was definitely a voice. I suddenly feel this wave of negative emotions is washing over me. Don't listen to that voice, Master. Just insane ranting of the dead. Get a hold of yourself. Archie's words immediately bring me to back to reality. While the aura negativity is still very much there, the voice that seemed to ring in my head is gone. There's no doubt who the voice belongs to, but how? If I want to know the truth, I have to keep moving forward. Oh my lord. Well, that tells me nothing. No, really, that actively tells me nothing. Tells me to guard on. Alright. Screw it, we're just doing guard break all the way through. Oh, okay, he's dead. These things aren't that bad, but they are annoying. They also aren't bloody worth my time. They don't give enough experience. The distortion sears my brain like a hot iron. Dark thoughts begin to work their way into my entire being. A sudden chill courses through my body, sets shaking. I feel like I'm being turned inside out. I try to stop the intrusion of these evil thoughts into my consciousness, but they continue to enter my mind. His name is Dejection. His origins lay in disdain and spite. His name is an abomination and hatred. In his past is scorn and ridicule. In other words, apathy towards everything. What is this? These overwhelming emotions? What is the source of the deranged rationality is rejected and rejects, denies and is denied? It feels as if they crawled out from the darkest depth of hell. I muster all my strength I can and barely manage to endure the onslaught that threatens to engulf me. A's seldom. It's someone's voice. I push through distortion and focus my attention on the voice. Experiment will begin. We will remove the liver. Observe the pain response. No anesthesia will be used. Failure, fail. Less than useless. This individual has no right to exist and has contribute to the future. No value, no ability. A failure. Its design is flawed. The rate of aging is twice that of a normal person. I predict that his lifespan will be 25 years at best. What a failure. It's hopeless. His most unconformable sins committed against me. It would be understandable if they came from common stock, but it came from superior life form. Brain, stop. The voice suddenly stops. As I concentrate harder, I can see a figure beyond the distortion. It must be a woman. I focus on concentration. I stretch out my hand. The scene plays out before me. There you are, Miss Alicia. The voice. It sounds much younger, but it definitely belongs to Julius. Though his voice is audible, the figure doesn't appear. But his memory then. The woman named Alicia turns Julius and degraded memory of her facial features. Oh, Julius, what's wrong? Yes, the master has See, is that a lady? The sunlight was and felt so. I just happened to time it was. Let us, Ori, we're get pun if we make he what just a little longer. And yours. I'm not gonna bother. I'll let you guys read it. I can't do it anymore. Pull yourself together, Master. Can you hear me? You have to come back. The sound of Archer's panicked shouting brings me back to reality. The voices I memories faded in the end, and I couldn't understand them. But those memories are definitely belong to Julius. Perhaps he was trying to tell something. Buried under all the dark emotions was a cry of sorrow. I have to go on. I have to learn what the owner of those voices is seeking. Well, that might actually tell me a little bit. Doomsday attack on. Ooh, ow. And we're dead, which means we have to restart this entire day again. Upset. It's also my fault for not saving. Alright. They are actually not worth fighting actively. Okay, so yeah, generally just spamming break guard is a decent way of dealing with them. Okay, good. Good, we can avoid that one. Just in case. Okay, we're good. Okay. 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 There it is again. The black thoughts encroaching my brain like closing waves. Concentrate on the owner of these voices. Drawn into dark thoughts, avoiding the distortions trying to envelop me, I reach out with my mind. Where is that figure? When I settle my thoughts, a scene suddenly plays back in my mind. In continuation of the scene from before. Let us hurry. Making him wait just a little longer won't be enough to get us in trouble. Anyway, Julius, you're his son. Why don't you call him father? I can't. I don't have the right. I was not born that which is needed to lead the Harways. The one who will succeed the throne is Master Leo. That is how it is. Tell me, is that what I've been occupied with as of late? He's receiving training by having knowledge burned into his brain. That sounds like a thaumaturgical process. All horrible surgery. Only 3. Even as his mother, I so rarely see him. Master Leo will one day stand at the pinnacle of plutocracy our way have built in Europe. As the ruler of Western Europe, burn the pains a mother see his child suffer. Yes, that. Please protect Leo. Yes, I exist only for that purpose. All day now. Make the relic Holy Grail. Have servant. That servant I had summoned is an East visual artist named, and I apologize. It will ask. I'll explore Leo. Then could these be Julius' memories of the time before his soul became incredibly stained as an assassin? The focus even harder, seeing you reach out even further. Something is there. What is it that you want to say? I finally reached the absolute depth of blackened soul memories. Kill, 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 kill. Let me die, let me die, let me die, kill, 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 kill. Master, it's too early to die now. Arch is almost screaming desperation and fear. It seems and I'm still alive. My hands are still clenched in fists, covered in sweat and panting from exertion. I give a nod, obviously distress Archer, to show that I'm okay. I'm slowly get to my feet. But it was there, a cry for help in the depths of Julius' consciousness. I have to let him know what it means. There is that Nephilim. I should kill it for experience, because it's actually decent. Sodom's Gate. These have a lot of very basic patterns. Thank you. It's guarding on the first turn. Rake on 5? Okay, so I might actually be using that one then. Keyword might. No, it is not. Oh my lord. I hate Nephilims, they suck. Or just that could happen. God damn it. I saved the state instead of loading it. Oh, I'm an idiot. This time I'll remember to buy ego crystals. And also this time, one minute. Be back brief second. Okay. As we skip everything because we've already read it.
私たちの敵ではなかったな。行けるところまで進めばいいさ。
I'm just gonna keep this on real quick. Put it off afterwards. Okay. Let's off. Okay, just in case I load a save state again by accident. Also, there's the trigger pissing us off, as per usual. Or that just happens where we just die. Nice. Almost tangible animosity is coming around from this corridor. Although the source isn't approaching, I can tell it's incredibly dangerous. I somehow know this hatred directed at me isn't so intense with my very soul impaled by it. It was hard enough to kill the first time. I'm surprised persistent he actually was. Master, once we go forward, you'll be fighting the most dangerous opponent you've ever faced. This battle has nothing to do with war. It's all one person wants to take your life at any cost. There's no escaping from the arena now. This is our do or die situation, Master. The source of this feeling and hatred is Julius, but his power seems different than when last faced him. The threat before me is very real, but I have Archer on my side. If I don't defeat the enemy before me, I'll never make it to the elimination battle. In addition, even though as the force of his grudge hits me, I feel something other than a desire for my death. I want to know what that feeling is, no matter what's waiting for me up ahead. There he is. Oh. Though, to be fair, this fight's relatively easy. It has been a while since we last met. The man standing greeted me in a quiet voice. The serenity of his voice contrasted by the chaotic, noise-filled atmosphere of the arena. You don't seem surprised to see me. Is that not so? You just see. I have returned because the question I wish to ask you. Also, I'm defeated by one such as you. I cannot allow myself to fall to one such as you. I don't quite understand. Exactly is driving me. Those feelings have brought me here. What is he talking about? I said hating the person that defeated you. That's only natural. But what question could possibly be so important? What is Julius trying to say? You don't understand? Of course, how could you? This is truly too funny. Am I the only one who really knows who and what you really are? Unlike a mere ghost such as yourself, I am alive. After I became a ghost, while falling through prediction created by the Seraph, I fought to continue on. Right at the end, I saw the truth that the moon cell tore me apart. I saw what you really are. As if the remnants of his sanity finally snapped, Julius lets a roar of maniacal laughter. In addition, hatred and sanity reflected in his eyes, there was a sense of obligation and duty. Did Gil before me come back dead to fulfill his duty? The Seraph was right. I could slip the hands of any other master but you. You being is unacceptable. Whether this world lives or dies should be decided by us. Choices determine the world, but those living in the present, not by you. A relic from the past, like you, not be allowed to influence what happens in here and now. What did Julius come? A relic of the past. I'm not only a pale imitation of someone's life. I was never part of the present. That's correct. You're a reproduction of someone who lived 20 years before the world slid into stagnation. Then all the imagery sometimes a dream is. The last moments of her life, which ended decades ago. Correct. That is why I cannot allow myself defeat. These changes made Sarah will be done by us. Leo, my brother, must be king, or... That's it. That must be the reason. That's my one responsibility. That is what keeps you trapped here. Ah, but nothing matters. Please, put me out of my misery. Round 6 have already come and gone. One more person, one last victim. Once I kill you, my duty will be done. This is your final moment. Please, just let me kill you. The man hisses out his command. For a moment I'm violently dizzy. My vision spins. I fall into the pit of darkness. A violent, bestial howl tears through the arena. Air and tremor running through the ground. That must be Assassin. No, wait. He's different from before. The look of insanity only belongs to a berserker. There's something seriously wrong with Julius's arm. The dissonance because of the servant's mumbled mysteriously under his breath. Oh, I see now. That arm isn't his. Julius must have taken another master's arm. Julius must have ambushed a great number of masters and killed them. He somehow managed to preserve one of his victim's arms and appropriate their command spell. I wonder which master's arm he stole. What if that arm belonged to the master of Berserker? This isn't good. It seems Assassin managed to weasel his way into a Berserker class as well. Anyway, servant probably isn't an assassin, but a crazed warrior of some kind. Most servants only have one class, but this one has the attributes of 2. His power. Incredible. I can't believe the servant's mind and body are able to endure outrageous injustice. I need neither rational thought nor coherent emotions. Everything comes to an end now. Now burn to ashes. Matrix level E. Now, because we're so high level, we basically get to see everything. His first turn, I believe, is always a boost skill. Then he does an attack there. No, it's attack. Cover that. Okay, so the first one is always a attack art. I'm sure Suba's a guard. He is lower level than you by quite a bit, so you can beat him up pretty easily. Like, in comparison to what you might think. Heal up completely. Break it, go for an attack. Just in case. Use a quick proof projection. And just go for the UBW. And we'll spam the fake Helix Sword. Wing Crane, fake Helix Sword. And we'll do a weaken for good measure, but I'm pretty sure he's going to die. You just deal enough damage where it doesn't matter. I even got a level out of it. I'm 2 levels above the arena. The arena level's 33. Ground-shaking roar of bestial rage, the once ferocious martial artist disappeared into the sky. Li Xuan, considered by many one of the greatest masters of the history of Bajikan. I can't say it. Though he dedicated his life to martial arts, he was undone by karma his acts of violence demanded. Julius' normally refined features contort as the command spell, the back of his hand glows deep red. Unable to withstand the pain that's surging through his body, Julius hunches over. I can barely watch as he writhes in pain. Oh, and you guys haven't seen any of this. I am so sorry. But at least you heard it. Julius' command spells are one by one as his body collapses upon itself. I cannot bring myself to strike the finishing blow, despite the fact he tried to kill me many times. I cannot kill him the way he is now. The person, body of mine is copied from, might have lived their life as like he did. His eyes slowly open. But this is the end. Julius breathes in deep. There's no longer a madness of bloodlust tinging in his eyes. There's frenzy drives, though I can understand why. You actually have some pity for me. His shoulders move in time with labored breathing. Julius looks upon the sky, empty world covered in the waters of the virtual sea. Remember the question you asked me before the elimination battle? Why do you kill? You were right. You know, it's exactly what you guessed. The Holy Grail, the Harways, none of it really mattered. When I was young, the only one person who showed me love, me, who had never been loved before. No one can live without love, not even someone like me whose life had no value otherwise. There was a woman who taught me my life had value. She died without any warning, so sudden, in order to secure Lero's inheritance. Her family had her assassinated. Her final request to her killer was that they protect Leo, my brother. I no longer clearly remember the exact events. Looking back on it, the whole incident seemed so surreal. I liked make it a badly made movie, poorly made, laughably acted, generally done in poor taste. Julius isn't looking my way. He is now deep in his memories. But since then, my purpose was clear. I would work to grant her final wish, and then join her in death. You began to despise me like an evil spirit whose hands were forever tainted with blood. But I could accept that, because I was only trying to grant her wish. I had motivation in life. But you, while destroying my cause, you didn't finish me off. Why? I've been awed by Julius than any other opponent. Inside this ferocity lay a deep melancholy. And in frozen gaze, I sense a man crying out for rescue like a helpless infant. I just wanted someone to rescue me? Yeah, I did. Julius casts his eyes down. I feel like I've been lost in darkness, alone ever since birth. Never considering that there might be hope or another path. My whole life I've been an insect, desperately drawn to a single light far ahead of me. But maybe my life wasn't that bad. It's bright here. If I could only be born one more time, I may live the same way again. If my dark journey ends in pain, it means everything to see a light at the end of the path. A yellow light reflected off eyes Julius' raised head. Maybe he's seeing the only person who can truly save him. I can hope the case. I am sad I am powerless to do anything for him myself. Or crying for me. I had forgotten that beauty of such gesture can hold. No, do not shed tears for me. For his fingers reaches my cheek and melts away into thin air. Ah, it's time. My heart cringes as his hands lose color and become translucent as teardrops. And then... And then, without a faint smile spreading across his lips, Julius disappears without a trace. With only 93 hit points left, let's head back home.
賛成だ。いい加減外が恋しくなってきた。
That was our big event that went on this time. Well, we have another one going, but this is generally generally the biggest one. Julius Harway found salvation. Good for him. More baffling than the zombie is the fact I haven't seen our opponent once in the arena. That little king doesn't seem like the type to lay traps, but you can never be too careful. Julius's delusions complete. Okay. The assassin appears before me a third time. Only the Holy Grail were it could I meet such an opponent. Archer has told me, worry about it too much. Still, I cannot help to think about it. Just so you know, it's not our place or purpose to wonder if he had received salvation. It would be asinine to sin and sin before him. But who are we to pass judgment on his life? The only thing we know for sure is he tried his hardest to defeat you and failed. The only thing, remember, from all this is the final result matters. That may be true. It's like Archer said, Julius' life is his own. I can't take responsibility for how he led it. Can be all weepy and sentimental. All this. For now, a truly powerful enemy awaits. Acknowledgement to Archer's words. I'm going to turn this. Because it's going to probably be a pain for a little bit. Now I think about it, I haven't told Rin or Julius. I wonder what he's around today. I think I'll go see her later. Head to the roof. Think you actually made it this far? I was sure you'd die in the first round. Joyous expression of the girl's face totally at odds with the sarcasm in her voice. However, I have to be honest with myself. Without her help, I would be dead by now. While thinking how much she helped me, my true feelings inadvertently slip out. Thank you for everything. It's only because of Rin's help that I managed to make it this far. What the hell are you talking about? I was only looking out for myself, same as you. That's it. I wasn't doing anything for you. Okay, maybe I helped you a little. All your victories were a result of your hard work. I had very little to do with them. Remember, the final battle still remains. Although Rin, blushing for a moment, quickly faded as her mood turned serious again. She's right, the finals await. Deadly obstacle stands between me and the Holy Grail. I will say this once, so listen as if your life depended on it. Leo and his servant, the trump card of the Western plutocrats, hope to get them the Holy Grail. Their strength is such that even Lancer and I could not face them unaided. However, I can't explain why. I have a feeling that everything will turn out okay for you. It's odd for me to say such a thing. Even odder that although you're strong, I can't say how. Remember, as powerful as Leo, when the time comes to face him, do not hold back. Be powerful. I can't believe Rin Tosaka of all people would say that about me. Even more surprising, she's sincere, considering how lost and clueless I've been at times. Her words mean everything to me. For the first time, I've received praise from a fellow master. With the creepy smile, you look like you've just won the Holy Grail War. Now go. You should go on the head of the arena. You no longer have time to relax. He then hits me violently in the back, a solid thud, followed by incredible pain. While trying to hide my smile at her embarrassment, I turn to leave the rooftop behind me. You still haven't seen Taiga yet, but that's because we're not going to see her for a little bit. Archer seems unusually subdued. It seems as if there's something on his mind that's bothering him. What's wrong, Master? I thought we were going to enter the arena now. Although Archer seems back normal, it's obvious that his bravado is slightly forced. If there's something bothering him, maybe I can help. Look at him, I ask. Is there something bothering you? Do you have a stomachache? Well, my question seemed to catch Archer off guard. He just answered with a sigh, and Roof shakes of his head. It's not anything bothering me per se. It's something trivial gnawing at my mind. After hesitating for a few seconds, Archer begins speaking. What the hell, I suppose you should know more about my situation. Servants are called to fight in the Serif's version of the Holy Grail War, must obey one rule. The ban on combat on campus only pertains to masters. Servants aren't obliged to follow it. If you are willing to accept the penalties, you can attack your foe at any time while on campus. But there's one restriction that cannot be circumvented, nor will it ever be ignored. Any action that threatens the Moon Cell, the system which runs Seraph, will be punished. As a safeguard to protect the Moon Cell from rogue masters, you might want to destroy it. To put it bluntly, if a threat to the system occurs, I am to put its safety ahead of my masters. Every servant currently present in the Seraph is obliged to obey this command. A servant who has gone berserk may be exempt from this rule, but not for the rest of us. Normally, the Moon Cell should be more important to me than yours. I see. After hearing his explanation, it doesn't seem that surprising. In fact, it seems fairly humane. It's like the last line of defense for the Moon Cell, considering regards masters in general. However, Archer's little diatribe explains nothing about me why he's so conflicted. Conflicted. Yeah, that's a good way to describe my thoughts. It has something to do with you, actually. How to put this? Let's just say my priorities have changed recently. For a servant whose loyalties shift so, only Seraph knows what will become of him. Never mind. I'm just thinking aloud. Just forget I said anything. With a dismissive shrug, Archer returns to his normal flippant self. Sorry, I didn't mean to waste your time with pointless rambling. Let's get moving. With that apology, Archer disappears. Although he's made it clear that I'm to forget it, it's not going to be easy to. Hearing any complaints from Archer is kind of unnerving. I wonder how serious his problem is. Very, as we're about to find out. All the stuff comes down, which means we can actually grab items. I can show off the whole map. And also because I have no new skills to get, I will be, once we have access to the next floor, I will be using my skill points. I don't really need to. Like, not necessarily. I would like to finish tonight. As you can see, because we're how high level we are, we're going to start getting... We've been getting a lot of bull. We're going to get that a lot more often now, hopefully. Especially from really weak enemies. Right about here-ish is when stuff happens, I think. Yep. No enemies lurking here, so maybe I can actually relax for a while. As I messaged these shiny catch your attention. Like what you explained, it wasn't the room that distracted me, but the thoughts of the story Archer told me earlier. I'd seen the face enigmatic. There's no way I could pretend that I didn't hear anything. I was just babbling. Seriously, just forget everything I said. Nothing I said was meaningful, after all. If it's not a big deal, why won't you tell me what's wrong? Why make me weird like this? It's not like Archer at all. I mean, huh? I like that. Speak your mind now. You're right. I was being somewhat disingenuous. At that, I could see all the tension melt away from Archer's shoulders. With one habitual self-mocking sigh, he turns and faces me.
いいだろう。
There's no way to dance around it. Here it is. I've broken one of the cardinal rules of the Holy Grail War. Rather, the Moonsalve place made the safety of my master my top priority. I tried to reset my priorities, but unfortunately, I am not a robot to be programmed. Funny, because when I was immortal, I could do this type of thing without a thought, but for the case, I'm sure going to be very happy about what I'm going to say next. Master always held accountable for their service during questions. The Mooncells undoubtedly consider you the target for any punishment it deems necessary. So, I apologize. If you had more command spells, I'd force you to make me Berserker, but Archer begins to grind his teeth, frustration and anger, as though loads his actions may cost me. Even though you probably only need one to make him a Berserker, I guess the general idea would be you would use two. You use one tournament Berserker, use the other one to keep him in control. And because you had to technically use at least one, Paragon of Justice, while alive, person he never allowed himself to be subordinate to anyone. Actually apologizing against his nature, putting my well-being over that of the Seraph. Really, his ignorance is so sincere, it renders me speechless. Doesn't seem to get it, does he? Can't believe it. I guess I'll find into short, simple words that he can understand. You suck as a servant. I just blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. It wouldn't have mattered if I was kind or abusive. I felt indebted to Archer. Well, from the first meeting until now, he's always supported me. But there is nothing I can give him in return heartfelt words of appreciation. I think that's enough. I'm truly grateful that he puts the welfare of his master above the Mooncells. In fact, the fact is somehow have made far most great deal for both of us. The fact I'm still alive even now is a testament to the heroic spirit's devotion to me. The bond we share is more than to me than anything.
なるほど。
Bond, eh? That's how do I say this diplomatically? That took balls to say something like that. Archer acts stunned, but I've come to learn that he tries to hide his embarrassment. But it's good word in any, I suppose. It's straightforward enough. Anyone can understand it. An actual genuine smile lights up Archer's face as he repeats the word again and again. The ever-present grimness usually colors his expressions gone, replaced with something akin to hope. But there's time to enjoy the moment. The only second time you'll hear a track. When the hell is that? The ominous figure approaches us. It feels the only purpose is to eliminate us both.
なるほど。
That can't be anything other than a program controlled by the Mooncells itself. Must mean the Mooncells decided to punish me for Archer's actions. Oddly, I'm actually relieved. I was worried our punishment would be far more outrageous. Well, me disappointed. I'm sure I'll be able to deal with this thing. Absolutely no problem. And anyway, the Mooncells' direct interference doesn't change what we need to accomplish. If it chooses to be my enemy, I will show it exactly what me and Archer are capable of.
期待に応え
That's right, Master. Now it's my turn to meet your expectations.
気を楽にな。私たちの敵ではないさ。
Once again, we're going to get a lot of this now coming up. This is a relatively easy fight, however, it does have a nasty trick.
マスター。らしくなってきたな。
This skill is not fun. Ace, a neurocoma effect.
食らいつけ。
Pretty much, if you try to use anything other than skills, it will just automatically win in the battle. And it is just cruel.
いい指示だった。
But generally, you no matter what servant you have, you should have enough skills to just spam that final section. And almost as if it was never there, the program sent to kill us vanishes. By the way, its level is like 31, which, by the way, is the reason why, because we're level 35. Just give us the whole thing. So, Leo shouldn't be too much of a problem, because we're already above the level of the arena. Even if it's against the rules, I'm not allowed to be destroyed.
よし。
Perfect. The magic circuits are now allowing me to whopping 120% of my potential. Any programs we face have been strong, but their strength is nothing compared to that of our bond. Although, taking suspicion, this is But this is what the Mood Cell wanted to happen. The bond that exists between masters and servant, this whole thing may have been set up to test that bond. If it was a test of that bond, then we seem to have passed. Archer stood up straight, looking proud of himself, impossible it may be, totally dependable. You better get going, Master. The time of sentimentality is over, yes? He's right. Even as we speak, Leo may be already taking possession of the Holy Grail. We face now only one of many obstacles. We haven't even gone the first floor yet. But one thing I can say for certain is I have Archer. It's more valuable than any treasure. Yeah, and this track, which is the battle theme, play for the pretty much the entirety of the next little bit. By the way, if we get above 40, I will be impressed. Because I've only gotten, I think, above 40 once. And that was in a New Game Plus file. Where I literally just murdered everything. I hope, by the way, I hope you like this stage. We're coming back here. I mean, we're actually coming back to the first floor. You know nothing other than his name is Gawain. But we only need to know that. Suddenly realized I haven't seen Leo since day one. The only remaining masters of the school are me, Leo, and Rin. At least I have two people to talk to. I just wish one of them actually wanted to have a conversation right now. Talk about... Oh wait, that's right. I never asked Rin what she'd wish for with the Holy Grail. The second cipher cave is generated on the second floor. There were several chimes informing of a challenge. Last challenge. By meeting it, the door of the last elimination battle will open. While I'm immersed in thought, the classroom door slides open and Kotomine appears. It seems you altered your next challenge. I'm delighted that my work is almost done. Your opponents have received notification as well. You do well not to back down now. I don't need Kotomine to warn me that the search of the final cipher keys won't be easy. I run the risk of crossing swords with Leo on the second level too. And I won't see you again until the day of the elimination battle. Good luck. Also, fuck you, Kotomine. Everything he's in. He's great, but man, do you want to hate him. He's great because you hate him. His struggle sort of undermined the whole meaning of good luck. He leaves the classroom. Last challenge. There are 4 days left of the elimination battle. Sudden fate awaits me there. I should do whatever I can so I have no regrets. Go to the door! You can actually get something unique. Archer has a unique combination. Only a few days remain in the Holy Grail war comes to an end. My outcome bout with Leo is starting to make me incredibly nervous. Of all the masters I've faced, he seems like the one most likely to claim the Holy Grail. He's the only master I've spoken with consistently. It's the prelims. I never thought we'd be the last one standing. I have nothing to say, really. Is it something you need to get off your chest, Master? I guess my nerves really showing if Archer notices. My obvious lack of composure has him a little concerned. This is a really rare opportunity. I finally get a chance to ask about Archer's true identity. I'm coming for the looms of my mind, but right now I have a question I have to ask. Even more important, if I live or die, there is something I have to ask Archer about before meeting my fate. Before he claimed it wasn't strictly a heroic spirit, and what exactly he meant by that. How did an ordinary human become a heroic spirit? And who was the hero of justice he was mocking? You're still hung up on that. What a pain in the ass. Just out of the chit-chat. Wasn't the grand proclamation of the embodiment of justice enough for you? I thought it sounded impressive. I love how his base model is always grinning. Just makes it better. The description seemed to refer to Archer. What I want to know is before. I want to hear was like when he was a mortal. Oh, why did I get stuck with the Inquisitive Master? Oh well, what can I do? I normally hate wallowing in the past. For some reason I'm feeling nostalgic. Just the thought of it makes me chuckle. Now that I think about it, I suppose I wasn't nearly as bad of a person as I thought I was. Must be rubbing off on me. I guess it means that it's not so bad being such a little fool from time to time. Yeah. Now is a good time, as I need to stop obsessing around what can't be changed. That Archer straightens himself up. His tone of voice is neither gloomy nor cheerful, but strangely neutral, as if simply relaying a story of little significance or import. In the great scheme of things, my story probably doesn't matter much. Are you familiar with the term Survivor's Guild? I'm the embodiment of all that means. Story time with Archer. Oh, there it is. It's Fuyuki, Japan. Oh. Oops. Because they survived the special in some way. Possibly. Here we go. Whoever's got a condition. Yep. Possibly they feel that since they were alive, something exceptional in order to honor those who weren't those fortunate. And if the survivor didn't, it'd be the same as showing disrespect for the memory of the dead. Yeah, I was sole survivor of a major disaster. While my body lived, my soul died that day. As the disaster was unfolding, my own thought somehow atoned for the fact that I alone survived. That's why I do not consider my life my own. I swore that I would allow another tragedy like the survived to ever happen to others. If I didn't do that, I wouldn't have been able to survive myself. It was then I gave up my name. I also gave up many claims to humanity, and swore I'd live who had died and not for myself. I'm a hero of justice who purposes to save others. It was with this warped idea, that I grew up. Don't look so worried. And don't point out how childish it still sounds, considering how traumatized I was. But anything was possible if you determined enough. I somehow made a childish promise come true. During the transition from childhood to adolescence, that man finally realized what he'd become. If someone dared to use their strength and self-interest, I'd stop them for the good of others. If a criminal were to attempt further crimes, I'd slay them before they had a chance to victimize another. I was a wizard whose specialty was creating weapons and considered perfect for fighting evil. On a related note, it's really not at all hard to become a hero of justice. By acting selflessly and staying true to one's ideals, any person can become personification of justice. I seriously doubt that it's easy. In fact, there seems to be something desperately wrong with killing your sense of self for the supposed good of others. I can tell he's only sharing bitterness and living out other things. Maybe right on that score, but at a certain point, he no longer cared. He was addicted to the feeling devotion to others gave him. In volunteering in resistance, his self-righteousness allowed him to grow to save the lives of many. While it may have been selfish reasons, his desire to help others led him to become a legend amongst the people. Under his altruism, he was just and in truth a mercenary. He was alone, only for a short time. In the midst of all this, he had friends, one who approved of his ideals and took charge of all things. There he is. It's Shiro fucking Emiya. It's a slightly different version of Shiro, but it is still Shiro. And the person standing next to him is actually a character who we can't quite meet, but is like an actual character in the series. That's how he immerses himself deeper and deeper into a sense of duty. Archer smiles, recounts the birth of a selfish, idealistic hero of justice. That smile, self-deprecating may be, is definitely a positive response to his memories. See it in the flash of a young man who's devoted himself to upholding a set of ideals. A man supportive friends, a man understanding lover. See in Archer's smile that he's thinking, ah, the good old days. To say they were good old days would be an overstatement. I mean, the guy was a criminal. May have thought he was nothing just because he was no hero. Not this again. Still, find anything objectable with Archer's story. Didn't he save people? Doesn't make him a hero. You're familiar with the ethical dilemma of whether it's okay to let 10 people die to save 100? Or 1 stealing of bread to feed your family? Or possibly, and stop me if you've heard this one before, a deadly virus spreads inside of an airplane, passengers dying by the minute. Amidst the terror, they still practically attempt to reach the airport. Even though they're all miserable, they band together, hoping to make an emergency landing at an airport. They act selflessly in order to save their fellow passengers, even though their own lives are forfeit. When they reach the ground, the virus will have access to 300,000 lives in the city. The groups are equally blameless, only different in size. Actually, the passengers on the plane are the biggest victims. Even in such hellish circumstances, they hold on to their humanity. He applauded them, the people on the plane who stubbornly clung to human decency. But he took the dying wish of landing the plane, he crashed it down at the bottom of the sea. He just said, "Good, many outweighs the good of the few." Now that one there wasn't Archer, that was Kiritsugu. It's an issue of life and death, not dentology. What Archer talking about, like the plank of Carneades. It's a thought experiment where one person survives by acting in a way that causes the other to die. If one person didn't take an action, both would die. A situation with no good outcomes. It's always wrong to kill someone, no matter what ideals are at stake. To kill for personal gain is evil. So what if a few people die one way or the other? No one's life is really saved. Ah, that's why he said he wasn't a hero so often. He protected the safety of people from risk. Part of acting on the verge of death did not happen. He say that he's someone who upholds justice is selfless. You don't died and does not survive as a child. Both of those things are nonsense. I think he kills himself by cold-heartedly choosing his ideals over his humanity. Even though his decision to save other lives was correct, it was wrong of him to disregard humanity in his act. However, every life he threw away was also a life he wanted to save. There's that picture of Fuyuki Japan again. By the way, I do love how they actually used this image. It's just one of my more favorite images. In the death of survived as a child, must have not people crying, "I don't want to die." To save some lives, but not others, contradiction to his core beliefs, founded on the pleas he heard. He was not allowed to mourn. Sins that committed mourned for, lives that are forsaken can be apologized to. Forgiveness can never be given to one who does not sway from blood-stained path. That's why, no matter who criticizes his actions, he could not betray those he had cast away. Here's the question. Do they actually call him Shiro? As a result, he's worn down, trying to be a hero of justice, killing him inside. To someone who, with his ideals, the idea of protecting someone love was ridiculously impossible. It was an inability to be a hero of justice, a selfish act. One that would incite a man to kill me. What difference is there between a vigilante and a criminal, after all? Actually, I imagine far more feared than a criminal, since he acted outside the law. He must have struck fear to anyone with a guilty conscience, even those above the law and officials. No negotiation, persuasion, or even calling upon his humanity would affect him. People probably couldn't comprehend why he did what he did, explaining wouldn't have helped either. After all, not a single person in the world is capable of acting without self-interest, right? Will he be something so awful? Could he be pulling out the wool over our eyes with good deeds? Doubts became rumors, rumors became truth, resulting in the hero of justice being turned over to the justice system by his closest friend. That was how the mysterious man who was feared by even evil people was ultimately defeated. Because he was a hero of justice, he accepted the people's justice without defiance. Servants are reproductions of heroic spirit. You could also say they are reborn. In other words, his life ended at the hands of the courtroom. I screwed up. My friend feared me. I thought this man helped me because he cared for me, but if I had become a deterrent to the public, he wouldn't hesitate to strike me down. It's not. His friend betrayed him. His ideals betrayed him. His friend realized he was bonded not to a man, but a demon enforcing indiscriminate justice. He wasn't a human at all. It was an infallible incarnation of the system. So his friend concluded one day he would meet the same fate as all he killed. Therefore, this out-of-control vigilante had to be tricked into a trap. That's exactly right. Back then, even now, I've never once hated that friend. It was only one thing I thought was unfortunate. When time came for me to die, I believe I would be done in by righteous hatred, but It wasn't a death brought on by hatred. It was because he wouldn't become someone else's gain. Ryu have a duty to end unnecessary evils. Redemption would not be his. It's karma. It was severed from society, just like the people whose lives he severed. Even if a human being, he realized path with a mistake in order to save as many people as possible. The young man fit of all righteousness he espoused. It's a perfectly drawn up story. Maybe that's why this hero of justice doesn't have a name. A hero without a name. His death showed me the very sort of embodiment of justice they yearned for. Sorry, that was depressing. Just take a lesson devoting myself to an ideal won't save anyone. Me back then and me now are different. Don't get overwhelmed thinking of us as the same person. Oh, that's my servant is the hero of justice? No way. A superhero who's upholding good and punishing evil would get old pretty fast. I wonder if Archer thinks he's a particularly strong servant. Yeah, I'm a very easygoing guy. How did you know? That's right. What's overwhelming about me isn't my heroic past. You probably already noticed this, but I think that my true gift is pointing out my partner's faults. He smiles. Archer has smiled before, but a sense of something special. As if he made peace with his past life. That was enough. Maybe we met so that I could give him this smile. Captivated, feel the tension flow out of me. Still, there's one last thing I want to ask. Is Archer happy now, even if his life was unrewarding? Well now, who wouldn't be happy becoming a heroic spirit? And a servant to boot? He talks with a dry, sardonic smile. Oh no, I went and ruined it. Now I can't ask if he found redemption. Poor Archer must barely be able to contain his discontent at having an experienced bastard like me. I think this fight has been a good thing for me overall. It's been meaningful, redemptive. There have been times your inexperience was frustrating, but you've been a good master. Wait, what? He's still making fun of me? As if. I'm not talking about good in terms of strongest or best magi. It doesn't matter to me. Abilities can be learned, talent can be compensated for. But your spirit, that's something unchangeable. Even if you make a mistake. For me, to have such a just master, the main heart is... Archer cuts himself off. Maybe he couldn't find the words, or maybe he didn't think they needed saying. But I know what he means. The reason why, as a servant, made a contract with a nameless magus. I know he appealed to him, but the average person guided by forces beyond their control. The righteous path he strove to walk when he was alive helped me walk a better path. Okay, let's double our efforts. We won't be able to complete if we don't focus on battles. Story time is over. The Colosseum, the future, and a job that only you can do awaits. Gets up from his seat. There's no more reason to talk anyway. I think we've shared enough. If we're renewed as the nameless magi and his servant face their final battle. Matrix, level E. By the way, this is the reason why we want to do that conversation. It doesn't actually do all that much. Not for me anyway. Kancho Bakuya, the hero of wrought iron. That'll give it to one previous life involved the development and manufacture of different types of weaponry. Hints of the fact that in the previous life, this Archer was more of a craftsman than a warrior. And play Fate Stay Night, I guess. It's not the same Archer, but generally, just go play Fate Stay Night. And if you understand Shiro in that, you understand this. Ah, yes. Go to the roof. Verse 4. Surprised to see that Rin is in her usual spot. How's it going? Why don't you come up here? The voice comes from overhead. Rin tells like I look up at the sky from the top of the entryway. Accepting her invitation, I go to the indicated spot where Rin plops down beside me. Up. Come to think of it, I don't think I've ever told you the reason I entered the Holy Grail War. From out of the blue, she starts a fairly serious topic. As data, you have no idea that outside of the war. For the past 20 years, the world has been stasis. Things have neither gone better or worse. I agree with Leo about one thing: change ignites conflict. Maybe stasis isn't such a bad thing. That's what I thought first. Then I realized just how joyless life has become for everyone. For most people, simple joy is something trivial. It's easily overlooked or even dismissed. However, for Rin, the lack of joy or simple happiness was enough to spur her into action. It seems that in reality, the world is being warped for some unknown purpose. Without change, there'll be no chance for things to improve, no matter how much time passes. The only thing that can happen in such a world is that people stop living and merely exist. That's why I oppose the Highways and everything they stand for. My goal is to overthrow the traded progress for stability and give humanity a real future. But alongside of these many years, that our foe's power was too much to overcome. While the Holy Grail contains enough power to topple the mightiest of foes, that's why I'm here. After her last statement, she takes a deep breath. She turns and looks at me with an anxious, almost worried expression on her face. Don't get the wrong idea. I'm not asking you to use the Holy Grail to make my wish come true. After all, only the winning master has the right to make a wish, not a dropout like me. But I just wanted to know why I returned. I answered and how I feel. And I am basically a rash, impetuous person who chooses chaos over complacency. It's all because I wanted to say to you. Sorry for making you sit up here and listen so long. With that, she cuts off any further conversation and stares up at the fabricated sky. Right now, all I can do is gaze at her profile. I wondered why Rin's speech was in the past tense. I can see her resignation, but her expression, she continues to look up into the sky. She has entrusted a great many secrets to me right now. Only the master who claims the Holy Grail can lead the stair. For Rin, the days before her final battle will be her. Don't go down. Don't underestimate me. I've been probing Seraph every day. Don't worry, I'll find a loophole. Now stop thinking about me and start focusing on Leo. The sudden smile was enough to lighten my mood and make all the angst go away. I doubt there's anything under the sun that would make a match for this girl. All the people I've known throughout all of this, she's definitely the most important to me. First floor. Mission. Actually, I think this will just go to the second floor. Oh, by the way, full disclosure, Gawain is going to be immune to stuff. The younger Harway stands in the hallway. A red-clad prince waiting to grant me an audience. It's Leo. It's okay, I didn't bring Gawain with me. I have something I wish to speak to you about. Leo's words are disarming. True, Gawain, who is usually by his side, is nowhere to be seen. When you fought my brother, I did not expect to escape digital death. You bested him, though. And it is to my credit, my brother, that you held out until the very end. Thank you for that. You have my gratitude. Hard to tell if he's agitated by his brother's death since he's thanking me. Could any normal person be so calm in the situation? It gives me the creeps to listen. My brother was weak. That's why he's selfish and defensive. While he said he believed in me, he really just believed his childhood promise to his mother. But he must have been happier that way. Leo's mother, the woman Julius mentioned, and the one wished Leo well. Then he must have been happy when he died, remembering that face twice. At least I think so. Anyway, you did well by my brother, and I know you want to thank you. Hold your tongue, Leo. There's no need to converse with your enemy at this point. I told you not to manifest, Gawain. I apologize for his behavior. He holds no malice, so try to please forgive him. Castrated by Leo, Gawain frowns and disappears. Not missing a beat, Leo continues. In any case, our battle commences in just 4 days. I look forward to an unparalleled battle ahead of us. He speaks with sportsmanship, but I can tell he doesn't think he will lose. I'm so curious about one thing. Why is Leo participating in the Holy Grail War? The reason I want the Holy Grail? For world peace, of course. The Holy Grail is an effective in strengthening Harway rule. Our waste management system what keeps the world stable, the real world that is. Neither strife nor poverty exists within its limited domain. Expanding the boundaries of the domain is top priority. Maybe some people feel a bit stifled by the system, but for the greater good of humanity, we want the world to understand that. I don't think Leo is lying. He truly believes he's performing great service for humanity. He's self-righteous, but looks at his face. I am jealous of self-confidence. Better to forget doubt like he has. To the second floor! I'm generally going to speed through a lot of the dungeon right now because okay, that's great. I love that. Okay, I was kind of hoping that would I could crit and just kill him. Claustrophobias are great, by the way. They're some of the best experience you'll get. They're relatively easy to read. Ooh, start a review. It's not great, but it's decent. Pretty handy. Oh, I should have equipped the enhancement spike. Oh well, no big deal. The enhancement spike makes you move about double the speed, so it's a little faster. Okay, it's not a little faster, it's a lot faster. This is what Taiga wants us to get, I think, this time. Yeah, the Teacher's Emblem. You want good experience? Claustrophobias are the way to go. Not bad. 36. We will, by the way, be trying to get as high level as possible. I think my goal will be 40, but I don't think we're going to get 40 without grinding. We can try to get 40, though, before the final fight. When you're just trying to get rid of something. We'll probably 38 or 39 would probably be the absolute limit for what we can do. Careful, Master. It seems our opponent has entered the arena. Since Leo has entered the arena as well. His aura is not malevolent like Julius, or subtle like Rin's. The pure, unclouded flow is magic like the sun in a clear blue sky. Finally, shall we welcome the Master? Isn't it a bit reckless to head in battle? Still, it will help to see Gawain in action. There he is. When we reach the passageway empty in space, Leo appears on the other end. In exchange of quick glances, Archer before we jump out in front of Leo. To his credit, Leo doesn't react, other than smiling like he just ran into a friend. Hello. And hello, we haven't introduced. Nice to meet you, Archer. I look forward to fighting you from the bottom of my heart. Somebody's antsy. Looking forward to a fight so much. How about we spar a little for giggles? Your sarcasm isn't cute. Your attitude towards royalty is intolerable. Hold back and cower like an archer should, needless servant. It's alright, Gawain. Your challenges entice me. Please accept. As you wish. And Leo signal, Gawain readies his sword. It somehow looks more hulking when he does so. His boss's life is top priority. That's chivalry for you. My sword is this kind of king's arm. If he retracts his arm, then I sheath my blade. My holy sword, my body, they are vessels for the will of my sovereign. A holy sword, Gawain, one of the best known knights of the Round Table, holds a sister sword to Excalibur. Its name is Galantine. Quite the legendary sword you have got there. But you will only wield it when your king wants. I subjugate myself to the king's will, and I defeat my enemies. My king, that is all I exist for. I will carve into your body with the symbol of the sun that serves my king. Excuse me. I have service life intervention. Life, I believe. There is a single scratch on Gawain's silver armor, but Archer struggling. It was fun. I look forward to engaging you in combat again. I did not expect that, Master. Never mind his capability with his blade. His armor doesn't even have a scratch. The legends of the Knight of the Sun are true. It's too much. I, as well as Archer, have overcome. But it's beyond us to even make a scratch on Gawain's armor. Each 4 days remain before the elimination battle. I wonder if we really can close the gap in ability before that. Must be something we can do. If we don't find the solution, I won't be able to reach the Holy Grail. Matrix, level 2. We'll just use a return crystal. Leave. Damn, I think I didn't even get a single scratch on the guy. Gotta be some sort of trick to his invulnerability. Find out, level the playing field. 4 days left in the preparation period. Figure it out like you always do. Excalibur Galantine, the resurrected sword of victory. Gawain is so strong. The power in the arena surpassed my expectations. Archer's attacks didn't even put a scratch on his armor. What? There's nothing new about our enemies being more powerful than your master. We've overcome them. There's no reason you can't do this time too. Now at the time, inner tenacity. Yeah, okay. He is perfect, but he's alone. Don't you have another flawed human to help you? That's right, not a single fight has been easy. You do the same thing one more time. Once more. I shouldn't worry, because I have Rin as my ally. That's right. Granny route is a little easier just because it's not on the roof. It's on the roof floor. So you face off against Gawain. I tell Rin, counter Gawain, how I fought against the previous day. His name, which bears no shame, the blade that shines, sun, his apparent invincibility. Now obviously I have nothing contempt for you, simply told you Gawain's identity. Probably counting on the divine protection of the morning sun that Gawain supposedly has. As long as the sun shines, Gawain might be the mightiest heroic spirit, even greater than Arthur. Power of legend. Gawain's exploits described in detail the Knights of the Round Table mythos. Said that to be a hero who was blessed with the great powers of the divine sun. Now I think about it, the abilities taken straight from the legends. But every hero has a weakness. Gawain is no exception. How powerful his abilities. He cannot escape the shackles of his legacy. According to legend, overcoming his strength would leave him vulnerable. Stories say Gawain died at the hand of Sir Lancelot, waited until the sun set to strike what became a fatal blow. But in the Seraph, the arena is controlled by the system. I couldn't imagine the sun setting while inside there. If that's the case, all we have to do is block out the sun for a little bit. My power, I'm not sure how long I'll be able to keep it up. If Rin's power as a wizard is without question, there's such an advanced technique. I wonder if there's something I can do to help. Right, it's an Herculean task. I'll need a place where I can concentrate. At first, I couldn't think that would work with our bother. Maybe the multimedia room that Julius was using before. Secret of gaining access. It's probably died with the original occupant. For now, I'll poke in my multimedia room. Maybe I'll find a clue how to get in. It's really easy with Randy, because, once again, 3rd floor. It's right here. Like, Randy stands here, so you just walk 5 feet. Multimedia room. This place must have facilities support extensive hacking. Once my hand on the door, I wonder how to get in. I knew it. I earned a mild electric shock when I touched the door. I'm booby-trapped. Julius left the trap to deny entry anyone but himself, I see. I have an idea. Only Julius can enter, then I just have to pretend to be Julius. A weird masquerade. Yeah, I don't know. I only know if I had to make this. Anyway, I'll go look around the place I fought you. Then maybe I'll find a clue. I told you we were going back to the first floor. Also, yeah, this is. I must. There's only 2 more days. Super fun. You're not even worth the fight. Like, you literally give me pity points. Like, look at the, like, it's pity points. Pity points. I apologize for doing that. I'm just trying to get through stuff faster. It's basically just go through the first floor. It's a very linear floor. Okay. Pick up the obsidian feather. Head on out. Nice and quick. All she said was basically go to the millimeter room. So I know I'm skipping, but I have very little time to do pretty much everything. So I want to at least get to the final section. I want to finish tonight if I can. Okay, I'm gonna start now. Take out the thing from Julius. Present Julius' article as Rin has requested. Next, Rin mumbles something and lock clicks open. Okay, that is a success. This will be a great base. I should be able to hack into the arena's lighting from here. Sorry to ask you this, but while I'm hacking, you'll have to stall for time. Of course, while Rin is hacking here, I'll distract Leo. If correctly timed with the fall of the light, just one strike against Gawain is all that I need. Rely on only one chance. The lights can only dim for a second. You cannot mess up the timing. Pretty sure it's just go to the second floor. Yeah, it's just go to the second floor. See, Leo is Deep Crimson uniform of Leo. I have to get him to the arena and buy some time to finish his hacking. I got to chase him down before I lose sight of him. Looks like you're in the arena. I'm hacking right now, but damn, it's going to take a bit of time. Leo is near you. See if you can draw him out. Stall for time. Let's go. The second half of the arena is actually pretty cool. Also, this is a really nice arena, by the way. Like, it's such a nice arena. It's not my favorite. I think my favorite is probably the jungle, which is the 5th. No, the 4th. 4th. Alright. Yep, it does actually, which is amusing. I love having Archer because you can still, unlike Caster, where you will have to basically do the equivalent of probably do like multiple rounds of combat just to save mana. You can get MP back pretty quick as Caster, but still. Well, with Archer, because he has higher strength. Oh, and by the way, with Caster, you will probably be. It's phase. Actually, yes, the Staff of Rebuke would be very nice for Archer. Those look very good for Caster. Because if I can heal his MP without using elixirs, I can start spamming and doing stuff like that. I should see how much. We're going to actually use it real quick, just to see. It's 85. Okay, that's pretty decent, actually, because that's basically... that's a free Helix Sword. But it's probably a better idea. Probably a better idea to go grab the. Not like actually, we'll
休んでいる暇はないぞ。
There we go. There's Gawain. There he is. Gold-hair Harway King stands in the arena, his knight in shining silver armor beside him. I have to distract him to buy some time. Ah, I missed. You searching for triggers as well? From Leo's conversational tone. You would think he forgot that we fought yesterday. That works for me. I bring up the uneasiness of utopia Leo spoke of. A world in which regulation is a necessity. The puzzled expression on his face, Leo answers me without a question. Where's the room for any doubt? No poverty, no war, no inequality. Those are the things conditioned for happiness, conditions Harways maintain. There are two types of people in this world, those who manage, and those who are the fruits of being managed. In this case, the fruits being managed are stability and happiness. That is wrong. When people have nothing to strive for, stagnation trumps stability. When individual peoples work towards a better tomorrow, humanity as a whole progresses. Dan taught me to strive for a goal. Alice reached for the vigor of human life and stasis herself. Even little Rock goal. It wasn't Ranny taking on the world in her own way. And even Julius, even that twisted man took a step forward and grasped memories. What about Shinji? You didn't mention Shinji. Yeah, Shinji sucks, but still. I'm positive this stability had no role in the best part of the lives of these people. The stability that Leo would impose on us is suspended in animation. Of course, we'd be free of struggle. You are hopeless. It's unfortunate to say such things. You cannot understand me. With the eradication of strife under my rule, noblest achievement. Leo sighed. He casually glances away. Shall we go in? It is sad, but she places herself in the opposition of the Harways. As you wish, my holy blade, ready to the sun. For my son, my king, I will scorch the earth. That's the end of the conversation. The atmosphere in the battlefield instantly changes, and Archer looks forward to engage. Okay, let me get this right. You've devoted everything to protecting the king guy? What a pain. I live as a knight should. This is my path. You have no right to criticize that. You're as stubborn as me. Yeah, I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying it's not necessarily as rewarding as you think. Live as someone's sword. People can't understand selflessness because it's against human nature. It makes you a freak, you know. No one's going to admire you for walking that path. But I think you know and accept that. Yes, however, do not desire a reward. nor do I have any aspirations. I will not repeat mistakes of the past. This time, I will believe the king without a shred of doubt. My holy sword blazes for one reason. My heart, but one wish, to lead my sword lord to victory. Interesting. We've got it in common. We're seeing our masters get what they want. I'll fight fire with fire. Let's go, White Knight. In time, I'll make you fall. I just intend to stall for time, but suddenly the tension in the air, that is bowstring. Don't be worried, Master. I'm not engaging them in combat. Easing them talking. We don't have to defeat them. We just need to stall for time. Archer smiles, left wondering outcome was inevitable. Fortunately, it seems Gawain has lost his cool. You just have to stave him off long enough for Rin to finish. Sloppy, sloppy, you're too easy to avoid. Archer's taunt is gleeful, but the expression on his face is stern. Though Gawain is upset, he continues to strike heavily and effectively, driving Archer back. Still nothing. I can tell by Archer's face that they're at their limit. I have to prepare for the worst. So make you wait. I'm going to turn off the sun now. The moment the mission ends, he glanced meaningfully at Archer. This is it. I was waiting for this moment. Whoa. With all his might, Archer drives a single blow into Gawain. A moment later, Gawain's fuming to his body. Were you just stalling for time? Ugh, what have I been doing? Stupid of you to lose your cool. Hurts, doesn't it? You like that, Knight of the Sun. Archer's taunt fails to rouse a response from Gawain. Gawain, let us retreat for now. They are victorious today. After Gawain reluctantly lowers his sword, Leo turns to me. He's still so damn upbeat. Well, unexpected. Using a full third of my power, I've still kept at bay. I'm glad to know I wasn't wrong for getting excited about facing you. For someone admitting defeat, Leo looks positively chipper. He laughs cheerfully as he logs out. He was only using a third of his power just now. Knowing Leo, he wasn't lying. But at least I've neutralized one of Gawain's abilities. 2 days remain until the elimination battle. Can I catch up to Leo by then? Now we can actually hurt him. Hello. Hello, Ori. Yay, we got the final trigger. This is me, now we can leave. We get to go home. Wait, not home, go to a room. Not bad. I got Numeral of the Saint. Day 6. I'm glad yesterday went so well. I trust you did what you needed to do. Rin's waiting for me in the usual spot. Her pale skin gleams in the white, gentle gleaming light. Yesterday we struck a blow against Gawain, so it's possible to positive finals. Tomorrow is the 7th and final elimination battle. Never thought getting on equal ground with Leo and Gawain, but thanks to Rin, it's a reality. Those words of thanks are on my back as I look towards Rin. Is there something on my face? Rin frantically wipes her hand over her face. It looks so funny that I burst out laughing. When I do, so, Rin, what are you laughing at, idiot? And to think of that, I'm seriously concerned here about what Leo said. I spent time wondering if Leo's philosophy had merit. However, just as Rin said before, not as if what he wants must be absolutely be true. I realized after fighting him, as strong as Leo is, he's missing something critical. That's why I can surely win against Leo. I'm glad you think so. The talk is cheap. You better make good on your words. Rin says this and smiles, saying that her smile reinvigorates me to win, return her, no matter what. And do you remember what you said before about finding a way to get out? The odds are 50-50 as to if that will happen or not. And only if things go well. Once the Holy Grail War is over, promise me that you'll contact me. I don't care how, from where. This is the address I'm using for the war. I won't change it for 3 days. Embarrassment colours his face as she sends her email address to my terminal. Why? Ignoring the fact that I'll have to defeat Leo, I'm still nothing but random bits of data. Isn't it kind of, well, ridiculous to treat something like me as a real human being? You're an idiot. I've already told you. Either be clone or copy, it doesn't matter. You are you, regardless of where you came from or who you came to be. You're soft-hearted and sentimental, and it's a reminder of how people really should be. No, it's not ridiculous. You are alive, so start thinking about life after the Holy Grail War. Defeating Leo will bring the wrath of the Harway family down on you. Doesn't that scare you at all? Oh, I never thought about that. When the Plutocracy targets someone, they'd be good as dead outside the Holy Grail War. Right, don't worry. I'll watch over you. After all, I'm pretty much the same boat as you. So don't be afraid to depend on me once this is all over. I'll protect you no matter what. I tilt my head in puzzlement. Not only she's sure I'll beat Leo, she's making plans for afterwards. I think she's getting way too ahead of herself. What? Isn't it an obvious thing for me to do? I'll wipe that oh woe is me look off your face. Helping another person is a big deal, right? And of course, they had to go and just do just that. To help another person is just a certain responsibility for their life. Remember that it's much harder to try and keep someone alive than to stand and watch them die. I see. Such an act couldn't be done without compassion, and such a life is to share it. Alright. All I can do is prepare to face what comes. I only get this one chance at life. Although saving a life is greater responsibility, it's far better to save a life than take one. That's right. That's why I'll do everything I can to help you. All I can right now. Rin then turns away, continuing to mumble to herself. That's right. Oh shit, we dropped frames. I'm in a anywhere to go after this, but I swear I'll return to this spot in. Sky is going dark. I'm nervous, I've forgotten something. Making I've done so far for naught. This is the final evening, Master. You haven't forgotten the cipher keys and your training? Restoration of the soul, have you? Feeling the familiar words from my servant calms me. I'd really like to save myself embarrassment or losing by default in the finals. Just in case, I should check the cipher keys display on my terminal. Also, I need to finish all my other preparations today. Don't worry, we got them both. But first, they have a little conversation. Further in the hallway, the sounds of argument can be clearly heard. In this school, with very few people left, I can only believe the owner of the voice to be Rin. The other voice can only belong to Leo. Legitimate masters, eh? So, any irregularities are meaningless to you? On the contrary, I'm relieved that you somehow managed to survive. Tragically, for me anyway, whether I get to live or die hasn't been decided just yet. Whoever with the Holy Grail gets to return home sole survivor. That's the rule. But my life doesn't matter. You're the one who still only to lose. If you lose in the final match, the Harway family will lose their heir. Pretty big blow. True, but I'm going to win. Though bravado or a lie, Leo believes he's speaking the truth. It's definitely not in blind faith. He has judged himself and doesn't find himself lacking. Trust a Harway to be arrogant. Same Harways choking the world into oblivion with an iron fist. Choking into oblivion. Tosaka, your compliment is creative. But still. No, you look tired. Now is not the time for extended conversation, I'm afraid. With that said, I bid you a good day. Leo makes a vague gesture towards Rin, while at the same time acknowledging me with a smile. I'm looking forward to finally meeting you on the field of battle. And as he leaves, that his smile never once stopped. If I was still the same person as before, his words would have badly shaken me. But everything is different now. Now I have a purpose, a reason to fight for the Holy Grail. That is why my path diverges from Leo's. Only the Holy Grail knows which one of corrective. Go talk to Taiga first. Take the plushie in return. Yes, the mighty plushie. The one true plushie. It's a plushie. I'm going to actually buy Learn about Celestial Blade. What level am I? 36. So I should get 37. The arena level I know is 35. It might even be 34. Yeah, it's 35. So I'm already a level higher than it. I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna generally just kind of go on a straightish path and just murder everything. There's my 37.
私のスキルも全て戻った。共に万歳だ。
I might be able to get his strength to a B. And same with his magic, might be get both those to a B. I'll try to up his agility a little bit. But I think the only thing I'm missing is making his magic a B, and actually those would be his actual, like, legitimate statistics. I think his CCD, BD, I think. Those are his actual, like, in-game statistics. Like, canonical statistics. This archer, anyway. The other archer has, I think, lower luck. This one has increased luck and increased strength.
休んでいる暇はないぞ。
I don't specifically remember. I know their stats are different, but it's because he gave up some of his intermittent action to have higher stats. Because most servers that have high intermittent action, unless you're Gilgamesh, usually have lower statistics because of you have a really cool power of if your master is dead, you don't have to worry about like losing mana for a while. And I think in this he has a C, while in base he has that was my fault for guarding on weights.
この調子ならいいんだがね。 マスター。
Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get. I'm getting like pennies. These things also don't respawn.
先に進もう、マスター。では、進むとするか。期待に。 消え去るがいい。
I think it like for the area they give okay experience, but I'm just so high level that I don't think it matters. I'm gonna try and get like I'm gonna still murder everything for the reason of if I murder everything.
足止めを食らったな。 この調子ならいいんだ。
We're at 600, 6,000 experience.
敵ではなかったな。
The thing is I don't think it would matter. But we will leave chaos.
ああ、賛成だ。
But one last night together in this fake world. When I think about it, you've really been through a lot. But We had some good times, and I'll spare you the flattery. It's all in the past anyway. Well, tomorrow's the elimination battle. I don't have any final words of wisdom for you. Just command me, master you are. Always courageous, always seeking answers. Alright. Facing the final curtain elimination battle. How do you feel? Why bother asking? I'm here. Accumulated victories and crushed dreams. Just because of the cost of others, I cannot imagine failure. Leo or myself, the one who wished Holy Grail will grant, chosen today. Ah yes, there is a certain young master who, his tournament has grown significantly. At first this master appeared to be a sacrificial lamb, but instead fought with those wobbly legs. I may be an agent of the system, but your fight rouses my interest. In your case, happy accident, or genuine miracle in hundreds. Thousands of years of masters. How perverse for this AI to be chosen on a clergyman. Now go. Show me, through the determination and desire, I'll wait on the first floor. I finish, Father Cultamine departs. The elimination battle is here. I face my strongest opponent yet. I'll make final preparations, getting outfitted commissary, sorting information in my room. And also, finally, organize my information. Today's finally arrived. Also, flush. On my day of final Holy Grail when once the last fight is over. Down to Leo and me, whose wish will be granted. I have no intention of falling now. Today is the day where fates will be decided. Where the elimination battle begins, I should do information first. Anything else? Gawain, the servant in white armor, whose name was given as Gawain. And I have great loyalty linked to the legend of the Round Table, guards Leo with tireless vigilance. I remember the first time we crossed swords in the arena. As per her story, his strength is legendary, wielding a sword that shines like the sun, and he barred my way to unshackle resolve. The name of his sword is the Resurrected Sword of Victory. The Sword of Absolute Victory, by the way, is Excalibur. I forget what the Talisman of Broken Commandments is, but it's actual, like, that's an actual. Oh, is that Deinschlef? Might be Deinschlef. Right, so-called Galantine. Sister sword of Excalibur and a weapon of great power used by Gawain. At first, there was no way I could meet the stroke of the sword infused by the sun's heat. Now the attribute of Gawain, mighty as the sun, was his unique constitution. When the sun was in the sky, all of his abilities were amplified to a significant degree. His noble phantasm alone makes him immensely powerful. With this attribute, he's almost invincible. What was the name of that ability? The numeral of the saint. The numeral of the 6 is not a thing, and reckoning of victories is another skill. Right, it was the numeral of the saint. The ability that ties power to the sun was powerful. The clock strikes noon. But by hacking the arena and cutting off the light, I was not only able to wound him, but cripple his ability to some degree. All that is done now is to see how close Archer can get to Leo. I've done, wait, just one more victory. Then I can get my wish granted by the Holy Grail. The answer that I have thought throughout this fight. A quick save. Go to the chapel. Yes, I would like to do an alteration. I need 6 points to up his magic to be. Up his defense by 1, his strength by 2. Why are we upping his, by the way, his magic to be? For the simple reason of it affects skills. And I would much rather have my skills be stupidly powerful at present. Are we ready? Into the Colosseum. Finally, the battle I've been waiting for. Are you moved by the gravitas of this moment as well? That's so. That is good news for the Harways, but personally I'm a little disappointed. You stirred something up in me when we fought, but apparently that feeling is not mutual. I hope that the battle between us is the turf for me. But it seems that you were just another obstacle. Or is it possible that you are not as interested in me by the Holy Grail War in general? You've always been different from the other masters, as if you arrive at this war by accident. Though you gone without a goal, you must now share it with me. What drives you forward? What purpose do you fight? But attain the Holy Grail. The whole reason this tournament exists. Your purpose is legitimate. I assume you have a wish to bear what you're at. That's right. As long as you have a purpose, I will question your need not to die. In just a few moments, we'll find out if you've achieved your goal. It feels rather strange. I want to fight you as soon as possible, but I also would like to speak with you longer. I'm grateful that your defeat was reserved for me alone. Make it sound like it's a done deal. You know which of the 7 cardinal sins is the deadliest? Pride, isn't it? But conviction is a virtue, is it not? I wouldn't get so worked up, Archer. Oh, did you hear that go, Wayne? Care to respond? Not particularly. Battlefield is where our abilities will be put to the test. Petitioning my opponent for your agreement the moment will only reflect poorly on your reputation. You're one loyal dog. You don't even break without permission from your master. A knight is a sword, not a source of idle chatter. Buddy, there's a big difference between small talk and speaking your mind. If you let your master speak for you, then you were just a puppet. How little you know, Archer. I've been my king because of my principle. I freely choose devotion. If I am bound by strings, as you suggest, then they are spun by selfless loyalty. Knights do not need to speak. They keep by their commands of their king. I chose to be a knight. The fact you chose the path of blind obedience doesn't make you any less of a puppet. You're still subservient. Your own will to someone else's. And let me ask you this, Archer. Do you fight of your own free will? Do you have any reason to fight here, other than for your masters? That question gives me a headache every time. Look, I've never fought for some great cause. I don't play with ideology game. If I had come to the reason why I fight, I move my sword so that my master has the right to choose a life that will make them happy. Servants are supposed to defend their master's lives, not their master's wishes. They say, for the greater good. Can't you see your selflessness actually selfish, Gawain? I see, I disagree, but your answer seems correct in theory. I'll prove it on the battlefield. Gnashing of metal, the elevator grinds to a halt. Is it just me, or this time the reverberations last a little longer and the sound heavier than usual? In any case, this is it. Onto the final battlefield. It is time. I'm aware that inappropriate considering the situation, but I have one last thing to say. Thank you for making it this far. Now let's defend our ideologies, 7th Master. The moment has finally arrived. Although I'm afraid I'll miss you. I have to keep going. This is it, Gawain. Utilize your sword's full capacity for me. I have waited for those words. My body, your blade, and I will cut a path to the throne for you. Not going to happen, Knight of the Sun. Your master's lacking in something. Lacking in something? You're mistaken, Archer. I am already the king. That's what I'm talking about, Leo. You've always gotten what you wanted. You've never known defeat. That's why you don't know what it's like to struggle for that, for what you don't have, mourn loss. There's no hope for a king who has no compensation. Human beings suffer. That's enough, Archer. I will not tolerate any insults from my king. Your opinions are biased towards the masses anyway. You've done the opposite. Too compassionate. Your very status as a heroic spirit is questionable. Leo, you are the perfect king. There's no need for you to worry about futile emotions you're enthralled with. That kind of power, one for the weak, seek salvation, is useless to a true king. I get it. You want him to live and die as a king, eh? You're loyal to a fault, I'll give you that. But Lord Gawain, you're about to repeat the same mistake. King Arthur didn't give up his humanity when he became king. Don't you think that's important? Of course, but that king and Leo are different. I devoted myself to Leo's reign. I swore to be a knight, served him his whole life. That's why chivalry is. I cannot withdraw a sword that has already been levied. Knowing you know, you still choose chivalry. Pathetic. I've heard enough of you. No more mindless banter. My body and my mind, my sword, they all belong to my king. Now I shall burn your miserable lives. Archer. Saber. Live or die by the sword. Matrix level E. We're gonna use fortification here, actually. But that's 2 free ranks. So, but I'm going to use the strike up just because it's effective. Also, his Sage's protection is annoying. Also, I'm sorry, but you can't really get rid of his buffs. I'm just going to keep Archer topped up, basically. Oh, you jerk. He can use his Noble Phantasm, but so can I. And I am going to. I'm gonna use Wings of Crane. Wings of Crane. Fake Helix. Fake Helix again. 7 Rings of Heaven. Sorry, I just love his UBW chant. And they redid it for record. We'll just let him use the break, it's not a big deal. Let's look at how much damage that does. It's so tasty. Look at how much damage that does. It's so good. Excalibur Galantine. Yeah, guess what? He can do it again. Which is the worst part. But we're going to use that. And I should be able to kill him. I think. Not, I should be able to survive just barely, yeah. Okay. I can't feel my fingers. My arms, legs won't move. There's no strength in them.
ありえない。
I don't understand. My heart's been pierced through. Feels like a hole is filled. Astonished, Leo remains unmoving. Somebody drew an unbelievable conclusion for him. While staring at his small hand, Leo becomes so thin and short. His heart won't stop moving, so... He doesn't seem to be trying to escape from the pain, though. Shock.
驚きました。
I see. What I couldn't believe was that I reached my limit. Leo smiles in admission. Never thought I'd reached my limit. I wasn't even capable of imagining what defeat was. I didn't think I was flawless. I just had no fear. The way your hearts quiver, mine never did. His quiet words were sorrowful, but a smile spread across Leo's mouth. He's found some happiness even in his arm's defeat and demise. Is something very human and trivial. Achievement. His body's coloring slowly darkens. I already know what will happen. I've seen this scene play out before. King-to-be will vanish. He'll disappear, like the gods have decided he shouldn't have been. This is a feeling to come over me. Feels unreasonable, rejects the irrational. One more time, I won't lose next time. These are complex feelings. I don't want to give up, but that's a compelling feeling. All I have, positive. I feel bitterness and grief as well. I fear meeting death. This must be courage. I understood the feeling of me, of those feelings. I'm such a fool. Someone like me could never have led the human race. Gawain. You knew all along that I lacked something necessary to become the true king. My lord, no, yes, I know, Gawain. Though you knew what I needed most was to experience defeat, still helped me win. You gave me your loyalty and risked your life for me. You knew that I would defeat one day, but you tended to my growth anyway. I live so ideologically, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be realized. I would have seen this defeat as a fluke, coldly ignored it. My king, I would have accepted no matter what defeats you suffered. I am your sword, your knight, your growth is your own. However, I am honored to have witnessed the growth of a truly honorable king. Hi, Gawain. With those words of praise, Gawain disappears. He makes no excuse, and doesn't plead for his life. However, of course he doesn't. He gave 100% for Leo. He had no reason to be ashamed. After watching Gawain flicker out, Leo turns back my way. He is crying.
困ったものです
I'm
ね。
afraid of going cold. This is the most frightening human emotions is despair. I never even knew the basic feeling like this. His voice is bathed in sorrow. I don't know if it was sorrow for his death, or the person he was. Defeat. It was a necessary obstacle on my path to the throne. I can't retreat after coming far down this path. Now that I know what I needed to become a complete king. Now, I can't help but thinking of mayflies. There are those insects who gain wings to fly, and then die just after a day.
残念です。
There is nothing I can do. Unfortunate. And then Leo disappears, gone without a trace. I'm the only one left. An emptiness that I've never gotten to use wrenches my heart. That was the end, though. Everything is over now. It really is over. Not quite. We have one more fight to do. Also, actually, stat-wise, he wasn't actually that crazy. Berserker is way more annoying. Holy Grail War end. Stop bursting. Chimes announce the closing curtain. Whose awakening was it? To win the fight, I returned to no now lifeless school. Almost all people are gone. The only master, the last living human in the tournament. Human is the right word. Even all the NPCs that were now gone, there's no more use for them. Holy Grail War ends here. The servant who won the Holy Grail War remain, plus one system anomaly. In any case, the path Holy Grail will open for the winner. Where could it be? I'll think about how annoying. Congratulations, you have crushed the dreams of all other magi. That is to say, you have won. The Holy Grail War ends here. Voice echoes through the speakers. Voice I've heard before. It was the voice I heard when my servant at the very end. Relimits. It's the guy who created the Holy Grail War system. It must be based on a real person too. Path to the Holy Grail is open to you, Victor. Pass through the door, the battlefield at once more. Still don't have any answers. Maybe they come once I get to the Holy Grail. Kotomine here. Basically, we'll just simply he basically just says that basically the commissary is open. If you want it, he will go fight if you need it. And there's something special here that will happen if you have New Game Plus, but we don't have New Game Plus, so it doesn't matter. Let us speak with Rin. Continue on. Let's go through the end. She seems to have no problem with coming with me. I'm not going to yet. She's good to have along. Open the last door. Alright, I'm not going to speak. I'm just going to let Archer speak. So, we're going to have to read.
この先に勝者に与えられる聖杯があるのか。あらゆる願いを実現させる奇跡の器。かつて多くの魔術師がそれを求め、ついには手に入れることのなかった力。それをまさか君のような魔術師でもない人間が手に入れるとはな。人生はわからない。かつての私もこんな気持ちだったのかもしれない。覚えているか？どうしてなのかわからない。それが君の最初の願いだった。あの叫びを聞いたからこそ、私はサーワントとしてこの戦いに参加した。かつての自分、まだ一人の人間であり、英雄なんてものを夢にも見ていなかった男と同じ願いを口にした何者かの顔を見たくてね。だがそれは特別なことじゃない。むしろ平凡な、誰もが口にする疑問だ。理由もわからないまま生まれ、理由もわからないまま戦い、理由もわからないまま命を終える。それが人間だ。それが君をここまで勝ち残らせた動機なのだと私は思う。答えは出すものではない。足跡として残るものだ。何も恥じることはない。君はこの最新の聖杯戦争に勝ち残った最後のマスターとして思うままに進めばいい。私はその願いが朽ちるまで共に戦うまでの話。さあ決着をつけよう。あの向こうに最後の疑問が待っている。
Yep, here we are. The end of the Holy Grail War. And the one time we've actually seen a true circle, other than in the arena. There it is. The Moon Cell. It's an incredibly vast room. Actually, space is so cavernous, I hardly call it a room. It's also strangely barren, save for the alien object that dominates the center of the space. It resembles a giant floating eye, though it doesn't seem threatening. It does seem a bit disconcerting. The object of the alien civilization, the reason for its creation beyond human comprehension. The core of the Moon Cell and the base of Seraph, the holy grail of the seven heavens, responsible for creating the seven seas. In space, where the Holy Grail is enshrined, I can sense discord and dissonance. Around the Holy Grail is a jumble of skewed stone pillars that only add to much atmosphere. On top of the pile of stone sits a lone figure of a man. He looks to be in his late 20s, most. His expression is blank enough, totally unmemorable. As an NPC, he doesn't make an Hey, I'm waiting for you. Congratulations, by the way. Won the Holy Grail War. I love the celebration in your honor, but unfortunately this place doesn't allow for that sort of thing. While it might not be worth it, I have to make do with my applause. But allow me to say that I approve, praise, and I'm proud for you, more than I have been for anyone else. Throughout the numerous repetitions of the Holy Grail War, you are by far the most extraordinary master. While he seems friendly, there's something more dangerous about him than any other of my opponents. A feeling of nothingness. There is something very strange about the man in front of me. Don't let your guard down. I feel the presence of a servant behind this guy. Same time, mention servant. I can feel Rin tense up as she shoots a glare in his direction. Watch out. This guy, he isn't an NPC. He's a master. Well, why would a master be here? War is over. The only master left standing should be you. Well, to be absolutely accurate, I could just as easily say that you're a master who shouldn't be here too. How can a master who was defeated be alive and present in this space? We're going to do this later. Well, that's an issue for another day. At least one rule will be still enforced. Only one master may leave. Unfortunately, you are the one who will disappear. I advise you to enjoy what little time you have left. Now that's settled, pretty sure the question is, what are you, right? The pertinent question. Did they have an answer? Of course, I am both an NPC and a master. To be more accurate, I should say I was. Becoming an NPC, a master of being, that's... She glances my way, her eyes wide in shock. I suppose a more thorough explanation is needed. The story is kind of long, but please bear with me. First, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Twice Age Peaceman. Please, just call me Twice. Wait, I thought you'd be Cyber Ghost. It was just an urban legend, but it's actually true. Everything about you painted as a person who hated war and dedicated to saving lives. Massacre. You of all people should detest this war. Considering you are here now, that's how history works sees me. That I just as the war, that part is definitely true. I hate war and will not tolerate its existence in any form. Even the Harways are exempt from this fact. However, the truth only scratches the surface of beliefs. Much like the Moon Cell, it seems a single well-known function has erroneously defined my true ideals. It began when I was a student and I was obsessed with the history of humanity. I'll never forget those shocking realizations I made during the course of my studies. The betrayals that make up history, combined with the severe shell shock, gave him all hatred for war. Let me clarify, by him I mean Twice Peaceman, and he was, in fact, incredibly ill. When he saw any image depicting war, he would overcome uncanny attacks. It was like as if he would get severe heart palpitations and blood pressure would skyrocket. From that day, meaning me, he was consumed by unease, became almost painful in its intensity. Even after becoming a scientist, he risked death to save others because of unbearable pain. That was the whole of it. What drove him during this time, moral quarrel, was not a sense of righteousness. What drove him, one simple question: Why was I the only one who seemed to hate war? As I said, Twice was ill. There was no reason for him to risk his life foolishly on the battlefield. Why did I involve myself in this war? Was it to understand it better? Was he considering the effect war had on me? Even when struggling with questions, my mortal self still irrationally kept going into battle. In the year 1999, a horrible neurological disease broke out in the city located in the Far East. Based on available evidence, the cause of the outbreak was a biological weapon created by terrorists. Twice was called to the city to retrieve the victims of the attack when he was caught in the major attack himself. According to the public records made available to the public, the death toll was set at 5,000 people. Moonzel puts the real count at 8,200. As you see, the government underreported the number a tad. I can see the exhaustion in his eyes. He seems to think that his story is no more than an amusing anecdote. Although it's hard to tell, used by government's possible cunning, total incompetence. By the way, this game takes place in like 2019, by the way. Anyway, that's when the person I am panned after died. Twice ended up one of those 8,200. Something strange, I remember seeing a place where he died, as if I too was one of the many victims. I could recall the sight of buildings set aflame. When I was Twice, it was a scene that I experienced before. It was then the mortal Twice, the person I was, recaptured repressed memories of his childhood. In the 1970s, there was a clash of groups, arranged by major powers as a war by proxy. Twice was orphaned in the conflict, and the place I remembered was hell. Everything around me was collapsing. Everything fell into a sense of morality without acknowledgement of the value of life. And there lies its brilliance. The young Twice must have concluded that life itself was truly a miracle. All that remained, I've already told you. Anyway, Twice was adopted to become a doctor. Though I tried to forget the past, that one fundamental truth had burned forever into my soul. Twice despised war more than anything, intended to kill war itself. I got involved in war in order to end it. However, the core of my very being was in denial. Meaning war wasn't that at all. Twice had a sense of many battlefields, the never-ending hell, the horrific evil perpetuated by humanity. A group of soldiers made to fight against an army many times their size, but with far more experience than supply. Forced to flee from guerrillas, a girl 5 travels on foot through a jungle you could hope survive. Innocent victims of violence who rebuilt the village and their lives without help from any others. Not that odd. Even though I hated war, I saw a great deal of strength emerge from conflicts I witnessed. Now that I think about it, the mortal me was the same. All of Twice's great works were born of war. The many revelations, the uncounted number of rescues, none would have happened without the hell that it. All the mortal me really did was bring back the number of things from the depths of hell. In the end, I was a victim of a terrorist attack, but as I was dying, it all came back to me. I saw burned fields of my home, recalled the tenacity that helped me go on, even as everyone else died. Yes, 3 seconds before my heart stopped, I finally received an answer to my question. It was never denial, which drove Twice and repeatedly into hell. It was because I, who eventually fell victim to the violence, no longer consider war the ultimate folly of humankind. Nothing can be hidden from the Mooncell, and its records as it observes, including my final thoughts. As time went on, I was reborn as an NPC based on a record of mortal life, just like any other NPC here. May appear to be human, but they are nothing more than puppets playing and roles. I was the same, however. You managed to gain self-awareness. How? Why? Maybe interacting with so many masters combined with my skills, Spiriton Hacker pushed me to consciousness. More likely, it was just an anomaly born. Some single near impossibility. How it happened, I cannot say. However, once I gained true consciousness, the only thing I could do was act as Twice Policeman could. The dream I saw died only in my mind. I exist only to make it a reality. So what was the dream that the monk saw as he died? Endless war, of course. See mankind engaged in a grand war of mutual extinction. Used as the last statement in a matter-of-fact tone. There was no hint of insanity visible in his eyes. Naturally, and with obvious sincerity, he somehow utter such a statement? Absolute madness. The future's been corrupt, and the conclusion come to after studying the moon cell's record. And with a brain, the world is doomed. Mankind has long since passed the adolescent stage. Man was still mature. 1900s. A balance was struck between prosperity, but did not last. The period of impurity ended. The golden age should have followed never occurred. You do realize this, right? What's happened to the planet? People should never have come. The spirit of mankind is stagnated, just as the world has. The future is rotting away as overripe fruit. When the fruit best has fallen to the ground. That's not the way history should be. That is why Rin and Leo describe the world a place of peace, stupefying stagnation, and equity. But is war really the answer? Because the efficient way of mankind progress, stability, and status only acts to preserve a species. The objective of modern man is merely survival. There's no reason for them to exist. My previous life, great many lives and resources were consumed for the sake of convenience. Why? What was needed is prosperity. Prosperity is just an illusion, and exists only for its own sake. I expect you agree with me. Humans are capricious creatures. Even dreams revolve. The preliminaries illustrate this truth. In artificial peace, ignorant aggressors reveal their idleness. Humans mature by breaking free of their idleness. That seems to be the case for you. And now ideology is based on determination of an incorrigible, forgettable past. That loss cannot be overcome. Merci, boss. Thank you very much, Belmont. Don't you agree? If the future were suffering in the past, make mad mere murderers. With the humans who lived here in the distant past, the future, that man now planning cannot be accepted. The future that will be is a mistake. Humanity has countless lives for a society that is yet to come. We cannot reverse time, since going back is impossible. Thank you once again. There is no choice but to move forward. With that in mind, we will recreate the wars of the past and revive history. The past last 100 years. By having everyone fight in a war of survival, mankind's consciousness will be forced onto the correct path. My wish is a firm conviction. As the winner of the Holy your existence is proof of that. Come here. Hold up a second. What in the hell is that supposed to mean? Rin looks at me and flames in her eyes as if demanding an explanation, but I'm just as dark as she is. The Holy Grail War was a way for the moon cell to gather data. It didn't even really have a name at first. The moon cell only wanted status samples. Having a war of survival was a good way to separate the chaff. However, up until now, the Magi who came here made excuses for their actions, still killed then fled. Truly an atrocity, wouldn't you say? Until I won, this world was buried under a mountain of corpses. After all, being an NPC, I get the luxury of continuing on even after I die. I watched their fights as an NPC. When I became conscious, I fought in battles of my own, weak though I was. Several dozen fights finally reached this elevated seat. After that, my story becomes simpler. Manipulating the rules of this place, I created the Holy Grail War. A battle of survival which only a single person may emerge victorious. I remade this world into a place where the limits of human potential can be pushed beyond one's imagination. And then you appeared. Biggest master in the tournament, you managed to defeat the king of this world. You were totally unsuited for this ordeal from the beginning, just as I was. The nameless figure drawn in the masses, become one whose hands rest in the fate of the world. Your soul is tempered by crisis and conflict. Your new strength is a testament of potential of man. When mankind reaches the heights as you have, they will move forward, clearing a path for those yet to come. Now it's time for you to claim the Grail for your own. You've earned the right to show the world the true path. Shout it, so that all can hear you say that war is necessary. That humanity can and must evolve quickly. Just input this one little phrase in the moon cell. Don't stop. After that, you do whatever you wish. Whether you become king, god is up to you. You have my blessing as long as your choice will bring endless war. And the wounds suffered by humanity, though losing countless lives, endless conflicts run deep. And if only reward suffering is that stagnation, humanity deserves to be cast into a void. Some sacrifices cannot be unheeded. Mankind inflicted with wounds they will never forget. I understand where you're coming from. As I remain paralyzed with doubt, Vince begins to speak, her apparent calm applied with the heat in her eyes. Your story is interesting. You left one question unanswered about you winning the war in the past. You never once mentioned making a wish for the Holy Grail. Why? Why have her make your wish for you? An excellent question. The answer is that I can't. If I touch the Holy Grail, my wish would be rejected. According to the Moon Cell, my existence is considered nothing more than a regularity data stream. I can fool low-level processes. If I access the core, it'd be seen as an NPC and immediately deleted. My victories would mean nothing. I need a legitimate master, someone who could make a wish reality. And Amistad will be deleted. What emotion did her words express? Her mumblings did very much like a dejected sigh. The girl beside me shuts her eyes a moment and then directs her gaze at twice, as if to deny the obvious. That's why I've stopped here. I've waited for years at the gate of the wall, awaiting for one I deem worthy. Upon reflection, I wasted a great deal of time. I was able to plant the seeds of war on Earth from here by manipulating the manufacturing information. But it was a case of too little, too late. Also, my methods were unreliable and on too small of a scale. Instances of terrorism and violence have skyrocketed recently. You know the cause of all of it? With access to full access to the Moon Cell's records, my ability to divine in the future, I could bring about Armageddon. Of course, I don't intend for everyone to die. I simply wish to get a war that anyone can survive. You can see it through the gate. There lies the moon's core, an object made of purest photonic crystal. The result is simulations of the Earth's future run by the Moon Cell, a stored light within the core. The one who reaches out to the core has the right to choose the course of the future from infinite possibilities. I'm sure you understand now. Whoever claims the Moon Cell can manipulate reality as they see fit. This object, which is envisioned infinite number of possibilities, can reshape the fabric of reality. What he says is true, and the whole Scout could accurately consider the mind and will of God. Nothing is impossible. It is truly an object of unimaginable power with infinite possibilities. Yes, you do understand. It has many other names: the Photonic Abyss, the Angelica Cage. Take your pick. You have earned the right to claim it as your own. Now proceed. Unleash the perfect storm upon the world, undo this lie of stability, and rewrite history as I have said. His looks, direction, an expression of earnest confidence reflected on his face, almost as if he is sure I share his belief that the war is answered. This man, while despising war and violence, could not ignore the immediate result that war brings. This supposed comrade, who gained strength, fighting much like I did, clears a path for me. However, I would like some of these answers I don't really care about. For example, I know war isn't the answer. That was very generic. Only that I care about matter to me, very generic. And the one that stands out to me, that there's two that stand out. The dead belong to the past, and I did not come here to wish for death. Because this could potentially mean you might still want a war, but you don't want death to necessarily ensue. And this one, you're technically even referring to yourself, because your character is technically from the past as well, and kind of dead. But not really. Well, I'll get to the not really. Masters who have fought have died in the Holy Grail. Every one of them have wished for their own. There were many types of masters: selfish, altruistic, sympathetic, despised. And each and every one of them is sincere in their desire. I am positive this is true for every master. I cut many of them down in battle and destroyed their dreams, and now here I stand. At first, nothing I wanted knew value. I had the responsibility for all those wishes that have been lost. Worse, if their wishes have no bearing, to abandon one's dreams is a forgivable sin. Your conclusion is overly sentimental, don't you think? I expected that. Still, give it some more thought. Servant, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the matter. You think I'm evil and should be eradicated? My opinion, discussing things as a servant may be a bit callow, even for myself. Roger flashes a cynical smile tinted with obvious malice, as if you come face to face with a sworn enemy. As a heroic spirit known to cut down all who stand path regardless who or what they are and what they believe, Roger points his blades at Twice. He made an expression on his face. As a servant, I have no answer for you, but if you insist on a reply, I will do so as a human I once was. I've met many fools like you, hell-bent on destroying the present, attempt to resurrect the past. Like those others, you try to justify your selfish desire for control by cloaking it in some kind of guise of altruism. You are not satisfied with any result. Loss? Your immaturity and weakness makes me laugh. You ask me, thought we're evil, right? You deluded, spiteful ghost. That's exactly right. Your misguided ideals blame more corrupted logic on one long dead end. You're the epitome of evil, a lifeless shade who sacrificed innocent for his own selfish goals. And regardless, Master thinks, I will be the one to eliminate you once and for all. As a master, I agree with Archer's declaration, though for different reasons. This man cannot be forgiven. I don't understand. Unlike any other human, you are the embodiment of everything I believe in. That might be the case, but even if I walk the same path, our feelings may be completely opposite. I must have died in the same incident that took Twice. However, I learned different lessons in my death. Sadly for you, you cannot escape. Only a single master may leave the home cell once they made it here. Once the participants are reduced to one, permission is granted to leave the Seraph. This is one thing I cannot change. Moon Cell has made this a fundamental requirement for entry. In other words, there is still you and me, and as long as it exists, neither can escape this place. So there is no path open to you but one leads to Oakville. And given your capricious nature, I can't relax yet. There's no guarantee your potential will shine through. The world has reached its limit soon. Soon it will be too late to overcome the stagnation of man. However, Twice Peaceman is wrong. Mooncell automatically erased their data. I cannot go inside, just like Twice. If I pass through the gate, I will be eliminated. And if Twice somehow wins, he will gain nothing. In the end, no one will win this fight. But even knowing that, I am not big on brainwashing. You can end up with self-destruction, but your spirit might survive the process. It doesn't matter. Just you want your wish to come true, you have to defeat me anyway. Such is destiny. And the end of things is a conclusion we arrive at. Now then, time to bring this chapter of the Holy Grail War to a close. To the victor go the spoils. That is the way of humanity, something that will never change. It is by fighting for one's life that the person's spirit will grow and become stronger. I may be well malevolent force that regards a man, but life is an endless cycle that will never end. I have been bestowed the power only to protect one person, but to preserve the whole. Look upon my works in despair, servant. For here is my salvation, straight from the Mooncell's record. Come, heroic spirit of salvation, answer the call, sole entity to escape the agony of existence. Savior. I kind of want a savior in maybe not necessarily him, but like a savior in Fate Go. Be interesting. Probably put them basically, maybe make them like their normal class savior, but put them on a ruler. If it's for the purpose of creating a path mankind will follow in Dharmata, and thus enlighten. Then I will come forth to grant salvation to all things and guide them with the might of my Vajra. And thus comes the Messiah. I, for one, wasn't expecting such an exalted servant. What's wrong? Seriously, you need to relax. Or make it this far. Nothing should be making you nervous. From your first fight, nothing's going to be easy for you. The entire war has been one long struggle. However, you have something. Oh, you didn't then. Understand that, and there's no way you'll lose to him. For Twice, it will be by our hands that the illusions will be cut down. Whereas my servants served to encourage me. In the end, Twice was right about one thing. There's some things that conflict can only help to grow. And the most important thing to me is the bond that now exists between me and my servant. Regardless of the strength and immediate consequence of failure. Happy in the future, I won't back down. I will face this one last battle with the one on my side from the beginning. Alright. Set the timer. This fight has a time limit. You have 12 turns.
期待に応えるとしよう。この戦いをもって
Savior.
私の聖杯戦争は完結する。
Live or die by the sword.
死者は現世に手を出すな。
Oh, I forget what that
貴様
does.
一人で十分だ。その正義をここで断じる。犠牲より生まれた無名の英霊よ。君の炎はここで何も鍛えることなく消え去った。切り込むか。
To be fair, he just kind of gave that to me, though. Like, he just gave me the UBW.
ここが
Like, he literally gave it to me.
ここがここが浅はかだな。でも構わん。いつでも マスター。
I forget what that is. I'm gonna try to avoid using UBW until I know. Oh, that's it. When he uses an attack, he gets healed.
立ちなさい。まだ命がある。
Ooh, nice crit. I forget what he needs to do to activate that skill. He needs to do something. Gain strength. Break, 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 break. He's not really that hard because he uses very obvious patterns. No. I even use recover right there. Activate the UBW. Take Helix Sword. Take Helix Sword guard. Take Helix Sword. Take Helix Sword. I do 3,000 damage. And he's dead. I can hear the sounds of battle, though I've been defeated many times. Painful all the same. But I have no regrets, just as life is a cycle, war too will endure. You are proof of that. Twice, who even still holds tightly into his beliefs, slowly begins to fade like all the others. Whether he's following his own rules or those of the Moonsault, I cannot say for sure. Now go and touch the Holy Grail. you'll come to understand many things once. Wanting and consuming lies, thriving without purpose, our future blossoms as the flower by the roadside. If it turns out to be right or wrong, I'd like to judge with your own eyes. If we were both truly righteous or not. In an instant, I thought I saw something that was truly him. It might have been just an illusion. But any time to contemplate what happened twice Peaceman passes into oblivion, his servant too will soon join him in the... Without exception, all life will perish. All living things are trapped in the cycle of suffering and death. Those who sought enlightenment, strength, and preference still have an untainted soul. There is more than one path. Just as their good and evil have value, the beauty of the world will endure. King of blood-drenched battle, Nirvana, let us witness the end of the world, for there lies your salvation. When his expression, much like his master's, away like a flower losing its petals. The only person to escape the cycle of suffering, seen by some as a savior, the spirit of humanity. I see now, he did not support Twice's ideals. Instead, he was showing compassion for the soul that the human known as Twice Peaceman. Alright then, what should we do now? You can ask your question with brittle and cheerful tone, trying to maintain her aloof attitude. Before you say anything, don't waste your time worrying about me. The moment I lost Lancer, note the second I entered the Holy Group, I was prepared to. Try to express my concern, but she only silently points out the gate in the middle of the room. The silence speaks volumes, as Twice said earlier. At the moment any anomalous data is detected in the dimension, it will be deleted. She refrains from speaking. She is all too aware of the consequences to come. However, even if I am to be deleted, some small window of opportunity, time should be enough to seek in a modest wish. To extinguish the remaining fires of war that ablaze, put an end to senseless bloodshed, for once and for all. Musa Automaton, very mind of a god, I will seal away, so that no one will be able to access it again. And also to return her, the one last true survivor, safely to the mortal existence. Whenever wishes race through my mind, I won't be able to have time for them all. I can only ask the most important of my desires. But any wish lives by experience that I gained fighting in this war. Make my way to the Holy Grail, the object of both bane and boon. The one fortunate enough to survive. My regret at not being a winning master has never been stronger than it is now. No matter how much I want to force the issue, since I am not the victor, I cannot go near the Holy Grail. One last sigh, she retreats into silence. I silently thank her, not making already painful parting worse than what it is by continuing making my way to the gate. And then I reach out to touch the Holy Grail, the very core of the moon cell. No, I mean, really hate what I'm saying. Sounds like I'm going to make excuses for myself. But things could have ended worse. Probably would have lost twice. Not due to lack of skill, but of heart. That's why I'm glad you're the one who made the end. I want you to know I truly mean that. Walk, 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 walk. Ready the Holy Grail. I slowly extend my hand and place it at the core of the moon cell. The instant I make contact with it, I am drawn inside the Holy Grail. The more accurate, I am absorbed into it like water or by a sponge. A short time before I'm erased from existence, my consciousness is immersed in the Holy Grail. See everything that exists within it. Every piece of information, every observation, every conclusion. Sheer volume of information and ideas stored in its forms. Intricate collage that no human could have deciphered. Though I sense a pattern. Right, I cannot say Twice's interpretation of human history, or it was wrong. For war always brought change, but in this day and age, humanity has mistaken stagnation for peace. Throughout it all, the Mooncell continues to silently record these without ever taking action. He analyzing the data for his records, files away the conclusions, and resumes his role as voyeur. It is there, on Earth, that the whole human existence is contained. Whatever triumphs and tragedies befall mankind and their world, Mooncell continues to silently observe and record. Is that strength, worth of existence, Twice failed to see and understand. Now is not the time to become emotional. I have to tell with Holger. So complete. I was able to enter my wits without assuming. Redo. And my tenuous existence. Oddly, the time of my death doesn't seem becoming intenser. Being one of the Mooncell shares a unique view of time, it contained within a single second. The briefest moment seems more drawn out than normal, but even with that, it. Hold on, something's off. Damn it. That's to be. Why did I bother coming? I can hear my servant mutter into my ear. They aren't there in person, but it's part of the Holy Grail. My guess is that my servant somehow slipped unseen into the Holy Grail at the same time I entered. When a master disappears, their servant disappears too, until they are summoned by another. I thought I'd stick around and help you out before we both fade away, but it seems I was worrying for nothing. Must have slipped into the Holy Grail, hoping to somehow delay my inevitable demise. My servant may be pessimistic, cynical, bitterly sarcastic, but at his core he's a good person. However, delay this long may result in present. Something else must be going on. Now I'm connecting the Mooncell. It shouldn't be too difficult to find out what's going on. It seems to only be a heartbeat. Watch this one long data file. Is that you? It seemed like your medical records. Cryogenic storage. You're not really an NPC. The info concerns patient. Fatal brain disease that affects memory retention. And the only doctor familiar with the surgical procedure used to treat the disease was died in a terrorist attack. Until another surgeon could replicate the procedure, the patient was put into cryogenic storage. If there was a living human being that shares exact identity, he'd be able to do more than random bits of data. The reason it's still around, the Mooncell needs more time to analyze this new information. I'm sure that I didn't come here as a wizard. I'm just a copy of the person trapped inside of it in this dream. Whatever the case, my fate is almost assured. I'm sure that my time here is coming fast to an end. However, there remains enough time to send one final message. Tenari-Kurta Kinoko Nas, Takeshi Takuchi, Kazuyo Nino, Shutetsu Kadowaki, Arkawada Uke, Hideyuki Mitsutani. What is this data? You're actually alive? That's not quite right. It's just data. Molded after. That person isn't you. But at least the same time is you. The person has the same heart, spirit, pattern of the soul. So it turns out, you and I live in the same age after all. Fair enough. I just like being a loser. Now that I know you exist on the outside, I'll track you down. If you're still asleep when I do, I'll pound you away on you until you wake up. I'm pretty sure it will only take one of my infamously violent outbursts to bring you back to reality. And if I can manage it all, I want a reunion to be on a rooftop, somewhere with a beautiful view. Till then, please wait for me. I will come and find you. Promise. That promise was both to the girl that sleeps and the girl who begins to fade. That once she leaves this place, we will meet again. and it is because of this promise I could finally allow myself to be at peace. And come on, come on, bring up the credits. You know you want it. There you go. Yeah, Ronse Eroica, Hero of Troubled Times. I really love that track. It's a really nice track made by. Yep. Yeah, we did not see Berserker on 1G because we did the Rin route rather than the Rani route. We didn't fight Shiki either. Shiki Ryogi, who is there's two cameo characters. One is the Berserker of the other guy, and Shiki Ryogi, who is a hidden boss who I wouldn't say is brutally hard. They're about as difficult as Saber. So they can be pretty hard. They're just not brutal. The issue is that they basically seal your actions. And if you don't get rid of that seal, and they've like fully sealed you, basically once you have all 4 seals, they have a move that will just instantly kill you. You do not want to be sealed at all in that fight. You're going to spend a lot of your fight time just kind of wheedling them down. Hinoko Nuss, by the way, is the original creator of Fate from a storytelling perspective. He's the person who created the scenario of Fate Stay Night and the Fate prototype, which was its original kind of idea. Because they were originally going to try and make Fate an otome game where the main character is female and has like a bunch of male suitors. But they decided instead to make the main character male and swap King Arthur's gender, because King Arthur was going to be male. There's a lot of reasons to the shift, but that's the basic one. I apologize for being quiet. It's like 1:30 and I have to be quiet. But generally it's a kind of neat thing. Marvelous. Actually, Access Games localization, by the way, you did a pretty decent job for the first time localizing a Fate game. I do feel a bit sorry for you, though. For the simple reason of some of it was just wrong. If you go look at other translations, not even fan translations, just other translations, they're usually different. I have a mod that that's technically fan translation, but not really. It's more of a fan consistency patch, which I'll translate a few lines, like in dungeon dialogue and stuff. But it also changed certain things that seem inaccurate. Yeah, special thanks. And all Fate fans with enthusiasm. Development. Type Moon, which Type Moon wrote the scenario. Kinoko Anasu came up with the scenario, but he didn't actually write the scenario. Here's all the people. Marvelous did most of it. Based on the original work of Fate Stay Night. It's very loosely based. Also, this is an ending screen will change depending on which servant you had. In this case, I had Archer, so it shows Kancho and Bakuya. If you have Saber, it shows her sword. And I think with Tamamo, I don't think it shows anything. I don't remember what it shows. You should do your real self once you wake up, huh? See, it's more like than thought. However, unlike me, you have no regrets about your decision. I have to say, I'm a little envious. The servant gives a chuckle. I wonder why he finds it so funny. Sorry, I was just thinking. Oh, I thought you were a miserable master at first. Fate can be truly ironic. While I could appreciate irony, I'm nowhere near as ironic as him. But I am glad he thinks that we are more or less compatible now. After all, he has been my comrade in arms, beginning there until my final moments. The solution of my current self has begun. Outside the Holy Grail War, Rin's voice begins to fade away. As what makes me compressed into smallest unit of illicit data. Think on my slumbering self. She wakes up, memory will be a blank page, no friends, no family to help her or guide her. I wonder how that strange new world will appear to her. Nothing about the past will have any meaning. What am I saying? There's only one thing to be lost, and be okay. Although I'll miss those I've met along the way, the world will still be here. As long as the path before me remains, I will continue to walk it. There are no grades given for goals or wishes, no matter how small they may seem to others. As long as they keep moving forward, they will eventually come to fruition. I was a desire to that wish. Come reality, it will keep you going until the end. I have no worries. There will always be those who strive to change the world, those I care about. I will eventually live with them, eventually move forward into the future with them. I can't believe how promising and hopeful the future sounds. I can't wait for it to arrive. There you go. Buffet. Save Blizzard clear data. There's a new game. Not to accident overwrite in data when saving. I'm going to say over this one. We don't need to. And that's it. Boom. Done. We are finished with Fate and Fate Extra. And I'm actually kind of surprised that it actually ended quite so well. It did take me longer than I had hoped for 1 week, but I'm glad it's over. We will probably come back to Fate Extra at one point. I'm probably going to do another playthrough just to do faster route for you with Ranny, but I might not, just because once again it'd be the same game basically again. There's some things we missed, but that's just light things. After this, this time slot will be replaced and repurposed to be used for either UBW, because I'm still not done UBW, or I might repurpose it for something else. We will find out. Generally, you just check my schedule. You can check it just by on my page. I have a schedule. It's up. It's ready. If you want access and you are watching it on Twitch, you'll be able to see these links. I sadly don't post on my own community Discord nearly as often as I should. But if more people are on it, then more likely I am to use it. And then on my Twitter, if you want updates, follow it. It is the best place to get updates for stuff. I might talk random shit, but it's generally the best place to find stuff. Checking, yeah. And there's not really anyone streaming, so sorry. But we're gonna sign off. Have a good day.